Yeah, Kevin Smith did Dog Pound. That's like his 98 early films. Stardust, underrated. Best Robert De Niro.
Bouncing here and there and
Mason's
everywhere.
doing it? What? Mason's opening up for us?
No, I was just singing the Gummy Bears thing.
He's just singing the Gummy Bears song. Welcome to our season wrap up. It's Jill's birthday. Yay!
Happy birthday, Jill! Happy birthday in the future too, Jill.
Yeah.
We know you're there.
It's not her birthday.
Next birthday when y'all actually see this.
Yeah.
Good point. Yeah, that's not untrue.
We love November.
Hey, all it took was for you guys to get COVID for us to get this back onto routine and schedule. So,
Boy, did it.
yeah. Welcome to our end of the season wrap up for season 4.
Yes.
Yeah. Good God. We're in our senior year. We're graduating. We're going to college next season. It's all porn. Porn reviews.
Time to get fast.
Didn't put any applications in.
Yeah, I'll go for the first half of the semester, but then I'm dropping out. Guys.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Sounds about right. Anyway, we're doing our top 10 movies of all time. Asterisk subjectivity based, including on how we went about that list. Don't worry.
And
we'll get into
individually.
it. Individually speaking, not all of our universal. We fought over it. Nathan has a top 10. Mason has a top 10. I have a top 10. And Price has a top 10.
This is where you get to finally know us.
Yeah.
And you can go crazy from here. You can sit there and say, you know what, I really want to see what Price is about. I want to get inside his head. So you're going to go right for his number 1.
Mm-hmm.
Then you're going to say, you know what, I like Dylan's taste next. I want to see what his number 2 and 3 are. I'm going to find those movies. This is where you guys get to go wild.
Yeah. Now, I think it'll be interesting to see how many of our movies have actually been picked already into our reviews. I think a lot of us have already said, yeah, a lot of our favorite movies on our top 10s
Maybe a
have
few
been
here, 5
put
there,
into it. Right.
something like that.
Yeah, so that'll be an interesting little thing to sit there and run over. But we're going to do a nice little snake order back and forth on top 10s, to top 9s, top 8s, etc., etc. We're going to take a quick commercial break at number 2 to make sure that we get some honorable mentions. That was my idea. And,
That was
mine! And then we're going to go right into our number 1 favorite all-time movie. But before we get into our number 10s, let's go ahead and break down if we had any weird criteria or understanding on the way of going about this. Price disagrees with it, and I say, shut up, Price, per usual. Nathan, I'll let you go.
I'll take lead on that. I'm not gonna. If I hold it this way, it won't spoil anything.
Yeah.
I went the route of I'm really bad at top 10s. I have not watched that many movies up until the point that we started doing this show.
I've watched about 120.
Yeah, so I've watched 120 movies
watched
now.
a fuck ton.
He's watched 12 times more movies since
That's more movies than I've probably watched, period, up until this point. So, I decided that for my top 10, just so that I wouldn't be picking my highest rated ones off of our podcast and that be it, I am only picking movies that I physically own. These are the top 10 movies that I own. That's mine.
I like there's a little CD case there.
Yes.
Yeah, so
you'll find out what that is.
You'll understand why.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Honestly, I'm gonna do a pathetic flex here. I've had an IMDb account for maybe 12 years now. Looking at it now, I have rated 1,823 movies.
That's insane.
God.
Right there, you see it? 1,823.
If you watch a movie a day, that's almost 6 years.
Yeah, I just like them, but
So
It's just like
that's
movies.
like under.
all I really had to do to find my list was to look at my 10 stars, which wasn't very many, and then probably 50 to 55 9 stars. And then
But
from
if you
there-
gave something like a 10 star when you were like
Exactly.
15 or something, did you leave that out or no?
I can adjust the score occasionally. I normally leave it as is.
I'm saying like if you saw like a movie when you were younger, like I gave this one a 10, but like you gave one recently that was like an 8, and you're like, I like that one way more.
Exactly, yeah. And I can sit there and sort of
Okay.
move it around, yeah.
Just
That's
curious.
basically all I did. I tried to whittle it down to, I think I had it actually down to about 14 movies, and then I had to make some decisions. So that's all I did.
Yeah. So mine, I had a painful amount of time because I knew for me it was going to be anything above an 8.5, so 9 and up was going to be in contention. Those movies are ones that I think really break the mold for me, really left a huge impression, typically play the test of time and go out, all that stuff. So as I was looking at my list and stuff, I knew ones that just made sense and ones that felt strange. There were so many movies that I loved and it felt weird trying to compare and put them into a top 10 list, relatively speaking. And I'll tell you where the barriers were franchise movies that feel like they should be in their own list. I'm looking at Marvel movies, I'm looking at Star Wars movies, I'm looking at a couple of these other ones that I'm like, in the context of a top 10, I had no idea where to physically place them. I just couldn't. It was option overload for me. And I said, okay, as much as I love these movies, I'm just going to segregate them to just being in their own list. Star Wars gets rated against Star Wars. Marvel movies get rated in Marvel movies. So I took out a lot of the gigantic franchises stuff, barring one or two tiny little exceptions that were just enough where I'm like, okay, I care enough about this that this needs to be in my top 10.
You were passionate enough about
Right.
a standalone, or what would have been like a weird, cool standalone.
Exactly. So as much as I love Logan or The Dark Knight or any of these other like ones and stuff like that, you had to really push it for me to be like, okay, is it worth taking that role away? And I was just like, no, I think they're best served against each other. So that was my thing. You'll notice that there's not going to be a lot of comic book movies and stuff like that. Traditionally, that is my favorite genre, though, because, yeah, I love it. Geek culture is mine, and I like it, and I own it. Price is just doing a boring top 10, no criteria. Let's get into number 10.
I don't understand. Like, my top 10 it's my top 10 favorite movies. I don't understand
I don't feel like mine was
why
very
this
weird.
is difficult. Mason's is not weird. He would be the one I would think that would have some weird thing.
I
but
also put it together at 5:30, and I met at Price at Elma's at 6 p.m.
I don't know. I just picked my top 10 favorite movies, and I don't know. It wasn't that difficult for me.
It was incredibly difficult for me. I had movies that were just good. Love them. But
It took the longest it took me was like to think of all the movies I've seen. Like, this one really hit for me. This one really hit for me. I made a list, and then I like just picked which ones I like the most at that point.
I got around to an hour, and I said, I can't keep doing this. Like, I had like 7 would be like 6 through 10s.
Yeah.
Like maybe 7 or 8, and I was just like, this is fucking stupid. And I had to like,
You're
I had
picking
to,
hairs.
yeah, I had to slice. I had to put rule in to put like make it work.
I appreciate the fact that we each have our own approach.
Yes,
to the top
yes.
10.
I think you need
I
to.
think I think it's great. I think it definitely speaks to
Yeah.
everybody's character.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a well-rounded math problem. As long as you get the right answer at the end, I mean, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah,
Right?
we were trying to solve for X, and I fucking did long division, and somehow I was squaring components that didn't need to be, but it's the only thing I can make sense, and I felt comfortable just saying, here are my top 10. I'm not going to sit here and fight anything about it. But
Number 10.
without
Here
further
goes.
ado, all right, but when you edit this later, can you put a big 10?
Number 10.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm gonna put a little.
Okay, cool.
Tiny 10.
Just the tiniest little 10
Yeah.
over Price's face. Bryce, go ahead.
Number 10. Had like a tie for this one because this was kind of like, this is where I felt Pixar was going to be on my my list. So it was between like Inside Out, WALL-E, and Ratatouille.
Okay.
Wound up going with WALL-E because
That's good.
I love the world of WALL-E. Had my first kiss during WALL-E. I mean,
Wow.
come on.
Every single one of these movies should have some kind of memory.
Yeah.
That
Poor
very
thing.
vivid memory. It was a horrendous first kiss. I did terrible. Anyway, love the movie. It's beautifully animated. The first half of it is just like nothing, like no voices or anything, and you just get to know Wall-E. It exemplifies what I like so much about Pixar, and that like all 3 of these movies that I picked are all one-offs. It's not one of their franchise movies because I think they experiment the most with these movies, and I like what they're trying to do, and like they're trying to push ideas that are very different, and I like that Pixar does that. And it was my gateway into animation. I mean, like Toy Story is like everybody's first animated movie almost, because I think it was the first animated. But anyway, that's beside the point.
Pixar animated anyway.
Pixar animated, yeah. So I mean but WALL-E's the one that hits the hardest for me, and it doesn't have what I think is a very annoying trope in like animated movies, but especially Pixar, is they kind of have a contrived relationship problem about 2/3 through the movie. Like that's one of the reasons I didn't pick Ratatouille, is because like you have the fallout between Remy and the guy.
You have the predictable conflict.
And those like get kind of annoying. WALL-E doesn't have that. I mean, it's kind of got a very ham-fisted environmental message to it, but you can kind of look past that, and it's just fun all the way through. So that's my 10.
I like it. I love WALL-E.
That, and it also doesn't paint the prettiest picture like most other Pixar movies do.
That's true. Yeah.
And that alone is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like, I like that.
Speaking of dystopian movies,
Oh.
Number 10.
number 10 for me is also a dystopian movie, but not in the animated sense. Blade Runner 2049. Wow, I surprised myself on this one too. I was going through and grinding, and I was just like, I just remember when we rewatched it, I was so fucking hot on this movie again. Like the rewatch on it, there were so many things I love, and it's so crazy because I remember thinking like there's so many like fair critiques on it, right? Like Gosling's acting's a little here, and then Batista gets wiped, and But I just remember the parts that I just absolutely love. Anna de Armas.
Ana de Armas.
Anna de Armas. Listen, so
Jared Leto.
period. Anna de Armas. Period. And I'm not wrong for that either. But
God.
I think she plays this very enchanting, like, little, like, I mean, she's just got a great character. She does. Like, it's this, like, little lovely AI that has
Just not enough of her.
there isn't, and it keeps this wonderful tone across. Well, we do get her very big and naked, but you're right. There's
still
always
not
more.
enough.
Still not enough. Not enough. But yeah, just the tone of it. I love the world. Blade Runner, I think, is a dumb movie, but Blade Runner, the world that it builds, I loved. I didn't like the first Blade Runner, so whenever I went on 2049, I was like, I hope they give me something in this world because this is something I want to like something here. And it did. It gave me that. It gave me characters, and I gave it, like, this humanistic struggle of what it is to be human, and it has a very philosophical discussion. Denis Villeneuve crushes it in this one. The visuals are stunning. Yeah, there's just so much. There's so much I like about this, obviously. So it's strange. I was like, I didn't think I liked it that much, but as I was cutting through the list, I was like, no, I just like this one the most relative to the honorable mentions that would have made it. But Blade Runner 2049, it's a 9 for me.
What's crazy too is you think that and you're like, oh man, that one barely made it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you're like, I still really, really obviously enjoy
Yeah, I
that
still
movie.
love it,
Yeah,
right?
love
It's like
it.
not even. I'm like, yeah, love this movie. I'm like a shameless defender.
It would absolutely be in my top 10.
if you just owned it.
If
Yeah,
it was just over there.
I'm gonna buy Nathan 2049 for Christmas.
Yeah.
So we mentioned that some of these top 10s.
Spoilers! Spoilers!
We mentioned that some of these top 10s aren't necessarily just like blockbuster crazy hits. Some of these are going to be a little bit more like guilty pleasures or nostalgia ridden.
Oh yeah.
My number 10. My number 10 is a very good example of that. It is Disturbia.
Oh, Shia LaBeouf.
So freaking good. Have we all seen it?
Yeah.
Sweet. Okay. So Shia LaBeouf loves this girl next door, but he's on house arrest. It's great. It's just this like, oh, but there's like a bad guy next door. It's got a pretty okay soundtrack. It's got a pretty okay story. It's got a lot of okay things.
I love this.
I think it gets better from here for my list, and this is why this is locked in at number 10.
This is gonna be a good time on Mason's
It is.
list.
Buckle the fuck up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't say much. It's got. I'm big on soundtracks, and this was right. Most of my music, I would download. I would download back in the day based on the movies that I would watch, and this movie had 4 songs. This World Fair, guests for a few other bands, and like, I still have those in my library. But anyways, you'll hear more about soundtracks later on from my list. So. Disturbia is number 10.
Wow. Probably got it even worse. Number 10.
I disagree.
Please don't be what I think. You son of a
Yeah. Show him.
Oh yeah, Rain of Fire.
Yeah.
Man,
Matthew McConaughey.
what a unexpected treat it is to have a movie like this, to have such high quality actors and such a mediocre to not very good movie that punches really high in like 3 to 4 scenes throughout its entirety. But those moments stick with you.
Yeah, they do.
And it's dragons.
Fucking dragons.
And it's the future. And they're living in castles in the future. And they're having scenes of them acting out Star Wars for the kids because the kids don't know what Star Wars is. Like, it's pretty good.
It is, and I remember that helicopter that just
Yeah.
survived the whole
Yeah.
time.
The whole time.
And just McConaughey being just so jacked and
Yes.
bald.
Which is so
and
hilarious against
use-
Bale.
Yeah, and freaking jumping with the axe and trying to kill the dragon, like all of that stuff. It's so good.
Yep.
There's so many things to enjoy about this film. And because I own it, it made it to the top 10.
Dude, it's so fun. I'm not even upset by it. I don't care how bad price it is. We're gonna stay with you as you bring it back on number 9 for us, Nathan.
Okay.
Why don't you go next?
Well, I mean,
Then we'll go around and then Mason next.
draft. No, that'll get confusing. We'll mess it up if we do
Yeah, either way it's fine,
Okay.
as long as it's not the same.
He just has to talk some more.
that.
Yeah, that's fine. So I was gonna try and throw you guys off by throwing this
Underworld?
one in there.
Which would make sense.
That's not it. So this is the Underworld trilogy. It was to hide the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Ah,
Which
I like
one
it.
though?
I think I'd probably pick The Fellowship just because
Really?
that's a classic start. Although I do like The Two Towers a lot. I don't know. Like, I don't really ever think about it split up as much, but I do think just the whole humble beginnings of a story are something that I always really appreciate. So. Yeah, there should be another one of those, but I don't know where it is right now.
The trilogy
So I'm just
featuring number 1 and 2.
Yep, the trilogy actually featuring only 2 and 3 because I don't know what the first one is.
That's
Oh,
interesting.
well, what are you gonna do?
Well, shoulda, couldas. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, we'll just stick Underworld trilogy next to it. That
Yeah.
basically is the Fellowship,
Copy
right?
and
Alright,
paste.
same thing.
Sorry, I'm gonna try to keep up with Nathan's list because I don't think he has a hard copy of his list, so I'm gonna try to keep up
I'm
with
just
both.
vamping here.
Yeah.
I'm just literally reaching over, grabbing.
And my number 8 is.
Yeah, so my number 9, it's Jojo Rabbit.
Woo!
It's really, really good. Dylan had the chance
yeah.
to actually debut it on here.
Mhm.
It's fun. It's probably my most recent one on this list, which is really nice. I've gone into depth about how that was my favorite movie of that year, period. Parasite was great, but Jojo Rabbit was just so fun, and it brought some weird upbeatness to something that obviously was not very enlightening. Enlightening? That was not the right word, but I just thought that, is it Taika Waititi?
Taika Waititi.
Waititi, yeah.
You'll get there, buddy.
Yeah, well, he should have a better name. You know, I don't know.
We'll clip that. Sorry, Taika.
Yeah, I don't know. JoJo's really good. It's just a good comedy, and
Yeah, great comedy.
that's really all I
It's
got.
got sticking power too.
It does.
I think it's a comedy. Like, it is definitely a comedy, even though I know you're trying to like
I
undermine
know, I'm
that
not
idea.
saying anything.
It's funny moments. I think stay funny.
Yeah.
Like, it's funny because it's lighthearted funny in the contrast of the situation that it is actually existing in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's also different enough. It's not just a comedy.
Mm.
Like, yeah, it's not one of those like Judd Apatow.
Oh God, yeah, like the
Like the 2000 to 2010 comedy ring of just like this giant pile of Easy A.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh God.
Best example I have is 30 Minutes or Less.
That
It's just like that
all of
movie
them.
that's around
All
that time.
Pass,
It
all
doesn't
of those movies.
doesn't stick with you at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is very much a different kind of comedy. So that's
Oh,
my number
yeah.
9.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of franchises, I broke the rule on number 9 because I didn't know how to quantify this into being. It's one movie, effectively speaking. It's Kill Bills.
Nice.
Okay, yeah, that's sure.
1 and 2, whatever.
Fair enough.
Like
We've discussed the director wanted it to be one.
wanted it to be one. It really plays as one movie. Yeah, I'm fine with breaking that rule. Kill Bills. It was my true introduction into Quentin Tarantino as far as just live action weeby culture, geeky interest in the director, and again one of my favorite directors with that stuff. This is my favorite of his picks, so it makes sense that it would land onto my number 9 and in my top 10 with that one. But yeah, I love these movies. We've done a review on it. You can touch at length on it, and of course, I could probably sum up more here. But they're just good. They're sweet. The first movie everybody unanimously loves without even getting into it. The second one, I like it more. Whatever, a hot take, but it is what it is. I like that it closed it. Number 9, Kill Bills 1 and 2.
Nice.
Number 9 here, going with another very current current movie is Marriage Story.
Really?
Oh, wow.
That's interesting.
I've
How
rewatched.
recently have you seen that?
I watched it like a week and a half ago. Like super recently. I've seen it like 3 or 4 times at this point. I cannot say
I don't
how
hate
much.
it, but I won't.
Like I
I'll
love.
never rewatch it.
Like
I'd rewatch it.
I would rewatch. Like there's so much to watch. Like I just love like every time I watch it, I'm like, oh, he's more in the wrong. Like she's more in the wrong. But like, I mean, no one really is like more in the wrong than the other. But you can argue both sides.
Mm-hmm.
The music in it is delightful. It's so good. The way I think about it, it's like it's kind of like the beginning of Up, like that theme that's playing there during everybody's favorite part of Up. But it's like renditions of that, but different throughout the whole movie, which is really good. The acting is superb. It's super good. I really like the subject matter that it tackles divorce in a very different way than anything I've seen in movies, which is a reason, kind of a similar reason I like Nightcrawlers. Like it's kind of shedding light on an issue that you didn't really know was there, that's been present in cinema. But Marriage Story talks about divorce, which is really talked about, but it's very much talking about the effect it has on the people and how it's like like it can happen to anybody. And I really like how it's presented. Really like the characters. My biggest qualm with the movie is the scene that pretty much everybody talks about the most is when they have that big fight, and like my little brother said, it's kind of like everybody's like first acting class. Like it's just like that over the top acting, like doing all that stuff.
That like improv too.
That gets kind of annoying, but one of my favorite scenes I've seen in movies is where he sings that song. I forgot what it's called, at the bar.
Yeah.
Love that. I mean, that made Adam Driver go up like so much in my books, and then like I watched a bunch of his other stuff after, but really like the movie. It's a little bit long, but I think it kind of needs it to kind of like really delve into their personal lives.
So what's your thoughts on the audio clip of Good Soup on the TikToks?
I've never seen it.
No, it's literally just like someone like dabbles in some kind of like liquid, and it's just like Good Soup. It's from Girls. It's the HBO show, but Adam Driver's in it.
Yeah.
I've never seen it.
And you said you watched all of Adam Driver.
No, I did not say that. I have not seen all of Adam Driver's stuff. No.
You weren't with Adam Driver when Girls was out.
Doesn't he
You're
eat ass in that one? Alison
Yeah.
Williams or something like that?
No, it was the guy with the big scruffy beard.
Oh, that guy.
Remember him?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
hated him.
Yeah, that's a main clip. I don't know. I only saw like
Marnie.
Yeah, like a few parts here and there. But anyway.
I watched the hell
Will
out
you
of
do
that
your
show.
number 8?
Number 8.
No.
I don't want to talk that much back to
Oh,
back.
I had to do
Like 8, and then 7, and then 6.
Alright, that's fine.
It's a lot
Oh,
easier.
crap.
I don't care.
Wah. Okay. That being said, I really like Marriage Story. I think it's an exceptional movie. I don't know when I would find the energy to rewatch that one again, though.
It's very emotionally draining.
It is one of those ones where I'm just like, I don't think I can. Like, ugh.
It's like very emotionally draining, but it's not like Dear Zachary level for me.
Yeah, I could probably rewatch that.
Basic good. He'd be like eating chili.
Fuck
being
that
like,
kid.
Yeah,
He deserves
Joe
it.
Kim.
Do a flip, bro, or whatever her name is.
Fucking guy coming.
Jeez,
Jesus.
You did it to me.
Number 8.
Number 8.
Number 8. Okay,
Oh,
that's
look,
what it
it's
was.
gonna spoil.
Wait, what was your last pick?
Number 9.
His is JoJo.
Jojo.
Hey, number 8, Jojo Rabbit.
He had
Alright!
Up until about 5 seconds ago, it was number 7, and then I remembered, no, I wanted it the other way around for number 8 and 7. Yeah, Jojo Rabbit's so fucking good. The only reason it's lower right now is test of time. It's the youngest movie on there, subjectively speaking, from when I watched
You
it.
never know. This time next year, it could be.
It could be hopping up the ranks.
Could be.
So,
Rabbit.
Rabbit. Yeah, no, it's wonderful. It makes me sad and cry whenever it's sad. It makes me laugh whenever it laughs. It just it just knows its
But
tone.
it's a comedy.
It makes me laugh. It knows its tone. It's just it's just good. It's
There's
just good.
rage in these eyes.
It's got Theon Greyjoy in it.
It's Theon's best role.
It is.
It's one of my favorite Sam Rockwell roles. That says something. Sam Rockwell's a really underappreciated actor.
He's in 3 Billboards, right?
Yep.
Okay, I
Yeah,
thought so.
great in that too.
He really was.
Yeah.
He really was.
Man, so good. Anyway, yeah, Jojo Rabbit is fucking good.
That's one of those movies like 3 Billboards that we don't like talk about ever, but every time I think about it, I'm like, that was
Because
pretty
it's-
good.
I feel like that's y'all's like Marriage Story. You're like, that's a movie I really, really enjoy. I think it's a great film, but I don't know when I would watch it again. Like, anyway.
I didn't think it was great. I thought it was good.
My
Oh,
turn?
I really like that.
Alright, so my number 8 is.
The Woody Harrelson part, though.
Oh, fantastic.
Really good.
So good.
I only
Really
have a
good.
couple comedies on here,
probably
but
his
my
best
number
one.
8 is an actual gem of
Sure.
a comedy. It's Oh Brother Where Art Thou.
That's so
Ooh.
Mason.
That
I dig it.
movie.
It is.
It is one of those movies. If it's on, I'm fucking watching.
I rewatched it about 2 months ago.
Is it good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's-
Yeah.
I mean, it's
So much fun.
My only issue with it does seem like it's like 2.5 hours long because
It
they
does. Yes,
cover
it does.
so much stuff. Like they go on an adventure of all adventures, but it hits every single time. Like George Clooney, I think is one of like the top 5 actors of all time.
Fun fact about that. George Clooney apparently took either a few months or like a year to do vocal lessons
Really?
to be able to sing for this part.
Oh,
He
I thought you
sang
meant accent,
he sang all the songs and they cut it out and they just used the Soggy Bottom
The
Boys.
Soggy
instead.
Bottom Boys,
Yeah.
Man of Constant Sorrow.
Yep.
And
So they
that's
didn't
another
even use
thing
his
too.
voice.
It's such an iconic song that comes from the movie.
Yep.
It's old, it's like from the early 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
Based off the Odyssey. There's just so many cool little fun facts and things that come from it, and I think that that's a movie that'll also stand the test of time. The Dapper Dan, man, there's so many quotes from it.
John Goodman
John
crushing it in
Goodman
it,
is
as
so good.
always.
You got Babyface Nelson in it. I mean,
He's my third favorite role, or third favorite John Goodman role.
you mean 10 Cloverfield Lane?
Is number 1 and Big Lebowski's number 2.
I forgot he was in. Yeah,
Don't fuck a stranger in the ass.
Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, it's such a good movie, but it does land on number 8 for me. It'll stay probably in the top 10 for a long time for me. Just a good homey comedy.
I did think, like, after rewatching it a couple months ago, I do remember,
Yeah.
like, some of the scenes drag a little bit.
It seems like all of the scenes can drag if you're just not into them.
Like the Quentin Tarantino drags?
No, but like, I'm thinking one in particular is when, you know, they're in the water with the sirens or whatever, and they're singing. Like,
Yes.
No.
that goes on a
It
long
does.
time.
My brain does remember that scene being about a whole movie.
And they're getting
itself.
like bathed or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. But he has to turn into a horny toad.
Yep.
Alright, I'm done. That's me gushing over a Brother Art Thou.
Yep.
Talk to me about it later.
Good movie.
Nathan, number 8.
So I gotta get mine out to document it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Yeah. Okay. Well, number 8 of the movies I own is Fifth Element.
Oh, hell yeah.
It's another comedy, actually.
I agree.
I'm kind of surprised how many comedies are showing up
Yeah.
on our list here.
But it's also...
Who knew he was the
but it's also
comedy guy
high-
all along?
It's high top 10, though.
Right.
Yeah.
Not necessarily the low ones yet.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe we're getting them out of the way.
So, yeah, I mean, this is just a fun space romp. It's got all the hallmarks of a bad B movie, but it's all punched up to a much higher level with A-list actors. So everything about that just kind of vibes really well with me, and I think it's a really good movie. It can be my stand-in for Blade Runner, because if I own Blade Runner, it would probably at least be here,
1 or 2.
if not higher.
1 or 2.
Yeah.
Blade Runner 2049. Yeah.
I figured that's the one everybody likes.
Mm-hmm.
Also, that was a movie I think you picked third.
That was one of the first ones.
This I think was
That
the
would've been a
third
retro.
movie
We don't
that
have it. We don't have it recorded.
because it was Scanner Darkly, Lawnmower Man,
God
and then
damn it.
It was before we recorded, so it had to
Yeah.
been the first 5 or 6 for you.
So yeah, I mean this movie's really fun. It's really it's
Uma Thurman hangs dong in that movie.
She's in no clothing all movie long.
Yep.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah,
fair.
she's in a bandage.
Yep.
Yeah.
Number 7.
Number
No,
8.
number 8 for Price because he went
Number,
yeah, that's
right.
number 8.
You messed it all
Speaking of movies that were picked near the beginning,
Mm.
does anybody
Kung Fu
know?
Panda.
Kung Fu Panda?
No, it's
Nope,
it's
it is
Megamon.
Tim and Eric, because we gotta
Oh.
get that wall.
How is this number not
so
number
that
1?
did somehow
It
actually
did.
get all the
He
way
loved
up
it.
there.
I know.
I mean, he gave it a 10.
He gave it a 10.
Give it a 10.
He gave it a
It's
10.
a perfect movie.
So it should be. I think it's pretty low for a 10, Price Mel.
Taquito.
Taquito, you sing the song like we practiced. It's just, it's
Who knew we
one
liked
of.
comedy so much.
Honestly.
I love this movie. I mean, I threw this one, like, I did, like, kind of softballs you all first, like Kung Fu Panda, like Megamon. Then I'm like, watch Tim and Eric.
Talk about a movie that we need to re-review that.
I don't know about all that.
Megamon?
That is a good
It's
one.
so good.
But, okay,
I remember that.
going back to Tim and Eric,
Yeah.
I have shown this to so many people. The only person that has liked it besides me is my little brother.
This must be in the genes.
I just love this movie. Everything about it, like, no joke misses for me. Again, I don't need your faces. I don't need your groans. Every joke does land for me. Every single one. I mean, I die laughing. Even if it's just me and Caesar, like, I just love the movie. I mean, it's
Everybody line up.
the music isn't good, but like it's the only thing I need from this movie is comedy, and that's what I get from it. It's super funny. It's not stylistic. It's not like anything great under the hood, but it's just fun to watch, and I really like it. Did you have your hands up for a reason?
I enjoyed
Great
the movie.
questions.
I gave it a 7.
Mason was the only other one that was
Or
like,
7.5.
it's all right.
It was
I
one.
got
It
a
was one or the
chuckle.
other, and it was fun. My only qualm with that movie was it was the hardest shit to find. I could not
Yeah.
download it. I could not find it.
I have 2
streaming.
copies of it. If you
It-
need one,
I think it fell on a
Really
week.
do.
I think it fell on a week where we were actually off for like a few weeks, and I was barely able to find it in time. Like, it was just this, had to go to the depths, or the ends of the earth just to find it.
Yeah, we had to go to
That's
the
probably
dark
one
web.
where I actually paid for it.
Yeah, I think
Which
you almost
I'd
had
have
to
been
pay
so
for it.
mad if I paid for that movie. I didn't rate it well.
But it was funny. I'll give you that much.
It's
Taquito was
funny in
funny.
retrospect. It's one of those things where I
We
think
memed
it's
it to death.
definitely
We
funny.
memed it, and that's what makes it funny.
Yeah.
Like,
We were able to have more fun with it after.
I
thought it was funny
wonder
from the
now
beginning.
if I were to go back and watch it, if I would actually find it funnier just because of how much we joke about it.
there's a lot
like.
We recorded this one, right?
No.
No.
I like knowing that I've only seen it one time,
Yeah.
and I still remember, like, I think plenty from it myself.
I feel like I remember more than I care to remember.
Yeah, exactly.
The used toilet paper store.
That one sticks out.
No, so the obvious, it's easy. On my
Oh, it's easy when they're in the urinal.
Yeah, on my trip, there was the transit bus. That's their slogan in New Orleans. It's easy on top. And I kept scrambling to take a picture. I could never get it in time. I'd always drive by and I'm like, shit!
It's as easy as $1 billion.
Yeah, I know. And there are 3 people who will find, like, and laugh at it, and then that's it. God damn this movie.
Mason,
My
number
turn for
7.
Number 7? Okay.
Wait, why did it hop over
I
there?
don't know. We're
Because
just...
you started with number 8.
I don't understand your fucking system.
Alright,
Whatever.
I'll go 7.
I get it.
Yeah, we're in good shape.
Can we have do we have like a cup we can hold?
So
All right, the egg.
Make sure it's been chewed on.
Yeah, can you chew on it, Mason?
This thing is so soft. My number 7. Okay,
don't
so
cover your mouth so the mic
Yeah,
can
the
hear
mic
you.
needs to hear you.
if Will Smith is my favorite actor,
Here we go.
Mark Wahlberg is probably my second favorite actor. Even though he's such a type actor that he's only in the same type stuff.
He's
I
great in the other
understand
guys.
that. He is great in the other guys.
He's the best of the
He's
other
so
guys,
good.
honestly.
Here's the thing: you gave Mark Wahlberg a gun, and you got a movie.
He
all
was
he
wonderful in
needs.
The Departed.
He was good in The Departed. Do you remember
Yeah.
him? Because I do. After the
Just
credits.
him being picked as like a second favorite
I
actor.
know.
is-
You know what?
Bonkers
You
to
do
me.
you, Mason. You've watched 1,800
I'm gonna
movies.
pick like Kermit.
I've got
Hey, look,
1,800 to
he's got
choose from.
1,800 movies.
1,800 movies.
This man
knows what he's talking
cinemas.
about.
Sorry, go ahead, Mason. I'm
If I ever don't
so
make it in my
sorry.
job now, boy, I've got a second thing lined up.
Yeah.
Okay, so Mark Wahlberg is in this movie that I've always loved and adored. It's called Shooter. And it is so fucking good.
Shooter's good.
It is very Hollywoody, but man, the storyline is plenty good. There's a little plot twist. It's basically somebody gets framed for killing a Nigerian head minister guy, or like...
He was trying to give away $1 million. It was
President.
easy.
It was not easy. Basically, Bob Lee Swagger is his character, and he's a badass. Just like every other
Never
Mark
would've
Wahlberg
guessed
ever.
that one.
Yeah, that's it. Watch it if you want. It's my number 7. It's easily like my favorite action movie of all
Watch
time.
it. Watch it if you want to. If you don't,
Hey,
no.
Kate Mara's
prove me
great.
wrong. Kate Mara's in it. Yeah, prove me wrong. Gordon. No, not Gordon.
No.
What's his name?
JGL,
No. You're thinking about the Latino guy.
Glover.
Glover.
Danny Glover.
Danny Glover's
Danny
in
Glover.
it.
Yeah.
Danny Glover's in it.
Yeah, Shooter's pretty good.
Now it's Nathan's turn for number 7.
I feel like this is a reasonable one to actually be in here.
Oh yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Send it.
So this is a classic. It's Nightmare Before Christmas. I actually just rewatched this maybe a week and a half ago or so.
That's fair. It's in season.
Yeah, it's that kind of season, and yeah, it holds up. Not like no scenes ever say they're welcome. All the songs are entertaining. The animations are still absolutely lovely.
Looks great on PS4.
It's a classic that doesn't hold up only due to nostalgia, which is what we found out recently with A Christmas Carol.
Maybe.
Might maybe tint some glasses, but I think this one stands the test of time just fine.
The only thing that I gave that movie an okay pass on was the fact that, you can riddle me this if I'm wrong, is it from 1996 or like 1994 or something?
Yeah.
Because I looked it up, because as I was watching, I was like, God, this looks so old.
96.
You know, I'm pretty sure it's from like the early 90s.
96, 97 would be my guess, but anyway.
I don't know where you even look for these.
That doesn't matter.
But anyways, it is a good
Well,
movie. But The Corpse Bride, I always liked a little bit more. It's also newer, way newer.
Corpse
Whose
Bride's
turn is it
really
now?
good
It's mine.
too. That would have been closely.
It's the only way I know.
No, he's going first. So number 7
Oh,
for
I
me
guess I keep it.
is going to be an American classic that everyone here has seen, but possibly not expecting.
Five Goes West.
It is.
Wild Wild West.
Yeah, Wiki Wow.
I wish.
I love that movie.
That's a good one, but no, it is Shrek.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, it lines up with like my type of humor. It's animated. It really introduced me into into DreamWorks animation, which I really enjoy. The soundtrack is iconic. I'm personally not like a huge fan of it. It does a really good job of carrying the story through. Like all this.
Also, I can't read.
All the songs really match the tone of whatever it's going for. It's not too long. It has really good humor in it. It has like lowbrow humor, like farts and stuff like that, but it also has like really good meta humor. Like one of my favorites is Farquaad before the gladiator things. Like some of you may die, but that's a risk I'm willing to take. And everybody's like, "Aw." It's just
Aw.
there's so many great moments in it. It was really close between this and Shrek 2 because the sequel is really good. If you all remember it, like
It's not
Shrek
bad.
2 slaps. The climax of Shrek 2 is one of the best in like any movies. The I need a hero or whatever, that part where like he's going to save Princess Fiona and stuff.
Yeah.
Really good, but Shrek 1's iconic. Love the characters. I mean, all of them are awesome. Lord Farquaad being one of my favorite villains. So yeah, not too much opinions on Shrek.
What a run Michael Myers was on during that time. That was that and Austin Powers.
And then you hadn't heard really anything from him.
Is originally supposed to be the guy from Tommy Boy. Forgot his name off the top of my head.
Chris Farley?
Chris Farley.
Chris Farley, yeah.
Spade.
Yeah, which would have made sense.
And Michael Myers apparently recorded all of Shrek's lines in his normal voice, but then like he like re-recorded it in a Scottish accent. It cost him like millions of dollars to do that for some reason.
Worth every penny. says
It was.
Well,
Farley.
they probably had to reanimate the mouth.
Right, yeah, because I guess the lips would have been different.
I guess so, but they did, and I mean it's iconic. They made 4 movies about it, so
They probably had
Did
some
pretty
money, income, maybe a little.
Yeah.
Wait, what was your number 7 again?
Shrek.
Come on.
No.
No. No. No, it is animated. I'll give him that. Spirited Away. Yeah. Surprisingly low, I think would be in a lot of people's guess on this one. I love this movie. It's fantastic. Again, talking about intros into directors and films that I would later love for a franchise. Dylan, didn't you said you were taking franchise ones out? Yeah, but this one had to break the rule because it's that good.
I wouldn't consider this like a franchise.
Well, right, not the movie
Yeah.
series itself, but in Miyazaki films tend to get.
If I could give Mark Wahlberg a bone,
That's fair.
I'd give a Studio Ghibli movie. a
Little
bone.
old man Miyazaki over in Japan. We'll give him this one bone on this one. Yeah. Spirited Away, just one of those. Yeah, I mean, just magical movies that I just feel like it just takes you on a wonderful little adventure every single time you watch it. The art style is just wonderful to me. I just appreciate all the little things and trinkets and things about it. It has just this. I don't know. It's one of these movies for me that I think it gets in my top 10 for that reason, where I just think it just ages like wine, you know? Like, I'm just like, oh, I enjoy this a little bit more every time I watch it, or I find something new or interesting to enjoy about it and appreciate it a little bit more as I kind of get along with it. So, number 7.
When I personally talk to people like in real life, not people on the internet and critics and stuff like that, he is the only person I've ever heard that's seen Ghibli movies and is like Spirited Away, even after watching multiples, is still my favorite, because everyone else I've talked to, including us, is that like Spirited Away is not like near the top. Like again, same my little brother, he like been watching a bunch of Ghibli movies and he was like Mononoke was like in his opinion like so much better than Spirited Away, because for me, I want to say Spirited Away is that great, but like there are a lot of moments that drag in that movie for me. Like there's a lot of times where it feels like, all right, let's pick up the pace a little bit. I am enjoying the world. It is a beautiful world, but you're really indulging yourself and like really dragging on it. And I think like Mononoke like keeps that pace and like just keeps it rolling all the time.
See, that's so funny. Like, my gripes on Mononoke are exactly that, is that it just feels like it takes too long. It's indulgent.
There's
and
a lot of stuff going on in
Right.
Princess Mononoke, but also Spirited Away is like.
I mean,
that,
yeah,
too.
I'm not saying Spirited Away doesn't have its moments where it
Yeah.
doesn't indulges, but honestly, the indulgent, when we say
And the
indulgent,
third
I'm literally
party, and I'm
thinking,
like, y'all are both fucking wrong. They're
Yeah.
both too long.
Yeah.
They both have a lot going
right.
on.
I think indulgent, and then I think of Ghostface literally just sitting going, oh, how long that scene goes on, and just, I don't know.
But it's
whatever.
completely subjective. I mean,
Yeah.
both of them are. Spirited Away was the first non-Pixar movie to get the best animated or
Yep.
something like that.
It was the first one on that, and I think it was maybe the first Japanese film. Like, I know it gets
It was
credit for being a
something like
Japanese, and like not just animated, but Japanese film in general, to get a recognition in Oscars.
Mhm.
So yeah, credit where credit's due. Boom, number 7.
Number 6
Shit,
for
number
Nathan.
6. I don't know where we're at anymore.
You were number 7.
I got you.
Yeah, but the price is ruined it.
Pop star.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, pop star. Definitely. How did you even pull? Surely that's not on your list.
I hope not.
Oh
I
my
hope that's not
god.
on your list.
It's gotta be number 2.
Man, like talk about like
I
that.
told him to watch.
That to me is on the same level as Flipped in like forgettability.
Yeah.
It really is.
So anyway,
It just has a bacon soundtrack.
my number
Six.
6. My number 6 is The Big Lebowski.
You're gonna
A
get some
real
fan
classic.
favorites from that, yeah.
It is, it's a movie that I've probably watched this movie weirdly enough, at least like whenever I was in my like young 20s.
Mm-hmm.
I watched this movie probably more than any other movie.
That's
I
wild.
can't tell you why,
Yeah.
but this movie is just one that I've seen probably over 10 times, which is really
Yeah.
That's way out of the
unorthodox for
ordinary
me.
for you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean it's funny. It's stayed funny over the years for me too. It's one of those ones that I definitely think is going to find its way under the wheel eventually.
You should.
I mean, I know you have.
Oh, yeah.
Have either of you seen
It's
it?
been a very long
I
time.
watched it last year for the first time. When I think of that movie, all I can think of is like how like psychedelic and like how like I assume that is a stoner type comedy or like a stoner movie where
It's so
I
isn't. It so
wasn't.
isn't. It's
yeah,
a,
like
it's
I
a sto-
wasn't, but there were
Yeah.
multiple parts where I was like, "What the heck?"
Oh,
is
It's
this
more of like a
movie
stoner
doing?
drama than a stoner comedy.
Yeah,
which is,
it's
like,
not-
the worst way to
yeah.
put it. Like,
But it definitely has like
well,
those
definitely without
very
with its comedy.
trippy. Like I mean,
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
literally a point where he's on drugs and like having
It's like surfing
Right.
or
Yeah.
something, or like
well,
floating.
and like the whole bowling, the
Yeah,
weird
he's got
like
bowling
bowling
stuff.
with was it Osama? No, who was the guy in charge of Iraq?
Oh god.
Saddam Hussein.
Saddam Hussein.
Yeah.
Yeah.
was
yeah.
like they're polishing the bowling balls and
Mhm.
stuff. Like very trippy scene. But yeah, I mean
Yeah.
this one we will probably review at some point,
Cool.
and
That's fair.
it's a classic.
It is.
My number 6. I am fixing to stroke the ego of somebody I really don't like to.
It's me. It's gonna be me.
And I like he's the last person I would ever want to do this on, but man, he picked a great movie this time.
Praise. It's gotta be me.
Number 6 is Snatch.
Sorry,
Damn
buddy.
it.
Snatch is
I love that movie.
Oh, it's
it
so
was
good.
such a blind
Back to
pick.
my home.
I like being
You'll get the
obstinate.
next one.
I like being obstinate a lot, but man, like it was a really good movie. I remember I was on my way back from Japan and I watched it on my phone the first time on the way back. I was
What a
like,
way to
this
watch
is
it.
Wow.
this was so good. And then I bought it, rewatched it, showed a bunch of people since then.
Mhm.
I mean, one of my most important things in movies is interesting characters. And this movie is loaded with them.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
Everyone in it's super interesting, and it's kind of segmented. And I can imagine younger me would be like, kind of like I was a Pulp Fiction, be like, why is all this like, kind of like going everywhere? And then it has that glorious moment where everybody literally comes to a head.
Mhm.
You get that amazing scene, like, just go ahead and die, Boris.
Mhm.
Screw you.
Fuck you.
Stop shooting the shit, Boris.
People not dying is one of my favorite tropes. It's just so.
And I mean, it's great. I mean, Brad Pitt's on it. I love that there's a subtitle option where it's like no subtitles, just Brad Pitt,
Mhm.
because like you can't understand a word he's saying, and it really shows that he can act, which is really cool. I mean, he still can since then, but until then, he was pretty much like the pretty boy.
Mhm.
But man, it's just a delight to watch. I mean, I don't feel the time at all when I'm watching it. It's hilarious. The story's really interesting.
Jason Statham is actually hilariously funny in that movie.
With like
He is.
not a lot of
Yeah.
dialogue. Like
No, yeah.
you know, he's like, yeah,
The door.
yeah.
Oh yeah, great pick here, Tommy. Yeah.
How much longer till those sausages done?
Yeah.
5 minutes, Tommy. Didn't I ask you that like 10 minutes ago?
Yeah, your gun says replica on it. Do you know what this was?
I see a dick and 2 balls on either side of him.
That'd be so good.
It's a loaded movie.
I mean, you and I
It's-
fought. I watched that like year review or whatever. You and me fought for that movie pretty hard.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think we did it like over Jurassic Park or something.
I'm
Like we
pretty
were like,
sure
you guys were
I
trying.
sent-
We were hot.
I sent Snatch like
To the final
near the
4,
end.
yeah.
Yeah, I think it was in the final 4 on my bracket.
yeah,
I like that as
really
much as I
liked it.
love it. You guys love it even more than that stuff.
Yeah.
So that's what's funny to me. It's just like, man, here I thought I was.
And I think I may have given it like an 8 or like 8.5 or something when I first watched it, but it just keeps going up every time I watch it. It's easy like a 9 or something like for me
Mhm.
right now. It's Only gets better with rewatches.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Number 6.
My turn now?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't have
Yeah.
the egg.
I'm the last 6.
I mean, what I was told is I hold the egg, so I think next Price will hold the egg.
Yes.
Yep.
Sure. I don't know. Number 6. My one not effing movie podcast movie. Spoiler. These other ones are in particular order. But this one, a little bit of vintage, a little bit Robin Williams. It's a swashbuckler. It's Hook. Dude,
Oh, wow.
I fucking love Hook. It was something I just kept thinking about recently as I was going through my top 10. And I don't know if it's because I was thinking Muppet Treasure Island. I've mentioned Hook several times in the
It
past.
had such a vibe to it of that.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
but I kept coming back to that mentally, and I was just like, surely that has to be in my top 10. I fucking love that movie. I've maybe watched that movie, not as much as Jurassic Park, but it's close. It was one of the few VHSs that we owned. So I was like, it was like Jurassic Park, Hook, like for fucking Muppet Christmas Carol, but you only played that seasonally. Man, no wonder I like pirate stuff so much. Man, they really got me with that pirates. So
Dun dun.
Dun, dun, dun. Well, I was about to do Game of
Finish
Thrones.
for me.
Anyway, yeah, dude, oh my gosh, Rufio fucking dies. They kill a kid in this one. Hell yeah.
Oh, but I can't say the deer's
Oh,
accurate.
shit,
All
Mason,
right.
shut
Okay.
that's not the same.
He's not real.
It's not the same. It's
Wait, do you not know,
Do you know
that's,
that's-
a documentary?
that's a documentary. That
actually
happened.
That's not just a story.
the kids and the actor Rufio didn't die, Mason. He's probably getting royalty checks right
Can I
now.
go 6 then?
No.
Best like change the subject.
Yeah, Hook is an incredibly fun, magical little
Documentary.
adventure. Not
Yeah.
documentary at all.
Peter Pan.
Okay, so
Boys.
Hook would be a documentary about a pirate man stealing children and taking
Michael
them to his
Jackson.
island.
Or Epstein. You pick. I
Yep.
don't care.
You can go with either of
Quit
those.
ruining my childhood, Mason. Hook, it's great, and it'll be in this review eventually, just like Big
I hope
Lebowski.
so. I'd like to see it.
Super good. Mason, number whatever.
Okay, so
Six.
of my last 4 picks, did you guys see any of them coming? It was Disturbia, Jojo Rabbit, Oh Brother Where Art Thou, and Shooter.
Relatively.
the fact
I know
that
that you
at
love
least
those
2 of them.
movies.
The fact
Right.
Disturbia's
Okay.
on there disturbs me.
Okay,
But go
Disturbia, disturbing. Okay, all right. Well, my next one is The Social Network. That's my number 6.
No.
I almost actually completely overlooked it. I forgot that
Wow.
I have fought for this movie from.
Is Brothers on your list?
You'll see.
Ah, number 1!
Keep in mind I'm at number 6 right now, so
Yeah.
if you think that I appreciate Brothers more than my top 5,
I thought we beat that out of you.
No. The thing is, The Social Network, I don't think I had to fight for. We all gave it a fairly good score, if not a great score. Even Price had his okays with it. It is a movie that, besides its length, I think it brings so much to the table, and it's good for it. I've said it a million times. It's about a topic that shouldn't matter. It's about something that you shouldn't really want to watch. But
Can we get a
it
sequel called
makes
Meta?
it good. A sequel called Meta, or
Yeah. The Meta Network?
yeah. Think that's ever gonna happen? Probably not.
I don't know, probably. This is a Hollywood. What doesn't happen again?
But yeah, score's pretty darn cool. The darkness, the grittiness of it, for it to just be a pretty normal story.
It's just like lit darkly. What do you mean?
It is.
It's dark.
Well, it's dark as in like the tone of it, like
Yeah.
like the backstabbery and the lawyers.
It's rich people backstabbing each other over riches.
Yeah,
That's Game of Thrones, and
but
you
it's,
wouldn't say
but
that's
it's
not
in a
dark.
light. It's in like a dark tone. I don't know. That's what I bring to it. He's in my number 6. I love it.
You have to stand there, so.
We are at
Something
number
that's
5, and I have the Yoshi egg. Number 5 is one I was surprised it went as high as it did for me. It's another pretty recent movie, and it is Parasite.
I'm glad somebody did it.
I really like this movie. I know I sounded exactly like Nathan when I said that for some reason. Don't really know why.
Yeah.
But I really did. I mean, just it's such a deep movie. It's like it's a comedy at parts, it's a drama at parts, it's action, it's horror, and it does all of these different tones super well. All the characters are super interesting. There's really not like a really good character in the bunch, which I really like. I don't like when there's just like a stock like good character in like a kind of dramatic role in like a real life situation. It kind of takes me out of it because I mean everybody's pretty much gray. which this movie depicts really well. Like you would think like the poor people that you're following are these like scrappy people that are just there in a bad situation, but you eventually learn throughout the movie stuff about them. And it's just a great movie. It got Best Picture for a reason. I love it. Seen it like 3 or 4 times. I own it. Really like it. I don't really know how to say a bunch about it. There's just tons of symbolism in this movie, and it's just great.
I agree.
Number 5.
It was neat for its time, especially. You didn't know how to describe it. It was like cross genre. There was so much crazy crap that would happen. It was funny, but it was also super dramatic and also had some like blood and I don't know.
I still haven't seen it.
That last
Really?
scene.
Parasite?
Yeah.
That last scene is will
It's
stick
wild.
with you.
Yeah.
It is
It's fun.
wild.
You know, there's a lot of movies I don't watch anymore.
How did
just
you not watch
so that
Parasite during our Oscar run, though?
Because I was like, well, maybe it'll get picked for the podcast.
But we've all seen it and
Oh,
love
yeah.
it. So
That doesn't roll out.
You have Hulu. You can always find it. Well, it was.
Yeah.
I don't know. If it is
Yeah,
now.
I don't know. All right.
Maybe I'll get to it.
Number
Yeah.
5. Is it my turn?
Yeah.
I don't know. It is a comedy. Ironically enough. Who knew?
Super Troopers.
It's Super Troopers.
There we go.
Yeah, Farmer's number 1. Farmer's number technically number 5.
The
But
spiders are dancing. For
yeah, spiders dancing. This movie's so fucking funny. Are you kidding me? It's so good. I laugh at this whole movie. This whole movie. That's it. That's all I need to say. It's fucking hilarious. That's not true. I'm gonna say more. Fucking when he gets in the cup and they're shooting him.
Back in my day,
we use blanks.
we used blanks.
You're a sick motherfucker, Mac. Thanks, Chief. Bear fucker. Dude, I can go on. Just watch a review on it. I'm gonna keep going on. I'm sure there's parts I want to talk about more that I'm like.
I mean, our review is basically us just be like, hey, remember that joke?
Yeah.
That's a pretty good joke.
Because the joke is so good. All of them are so good. It's the
Yeah,
best.
I was
Price.
getting pretty sick of that.
Well, you should have rounded your score up and maybe I would have stopped sooner. But don't worry, you'll appreciate it more when you rewatch it again. I'm gonna do it on a retro review. Go ahead, Bryce.
All right, so my number 5. All right, so all my comedies are gone for the most part.
All the chucks are out.
Yeah, all the jokes are out. But now
Now it's all
we're getting into the
teen
good stuff.
dramas.
Yep.
Speaking of teen dramas,
Let's go.
Raw.
Ah!
It is my favorite horror movie. I had to think long and
Wow.
hard about which a horror movie had to go on here. It's my favorite genre.
Yeah. I mean, I knew this was going to be.
Yeah.
It
this
needed
happened.
to be there.
Yeah.
And I could have picked. Honestly, I could have. No.
Was this your first pick?
Yes.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Me and Earl
Oh, yeah.
was, and then Raw.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I forgot.
He
I
softballed us.
tested the
You
waters.
softballed us.
I did.
And then hit hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We went to 2 feet to 9 feet.
And
real
Nathan
quick.
has not emotionally recovered.
Raw is a
Yeah,
movie
Don't make me watch
that was like 2 years in the making for me. I finally got to watch it at a super small theater. I've said it a million times.
He has,
And I've
Well, we
seen
didn't
it
record for that big part.
probably
True.
5 times.
Today.
Almost just watched it the other day. I need to tell it to you after this.
Oh, yeah.
That director came out with a new one called Titan, and I watched it the other day. It was fucking wacky.
All right.
Raw is my number 5.
Well,
Yep.
on to
It
me.
is
Yeah.
your turn.
Well, speaking of early picks,
Ooh.
this is the first pick I ever had for the podcast before it was really a podcast.
Yep.
When it was just movie club.
Ooh, it was a movie club. Yeah.
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 So that will be a Scanner Darkly, and you know this is one of those movies that I always really like to have people watch because it's one of those ones that it seems like nobody ever saw, despite the
It's
not
fact
even
that
on
it
the radar.
has so many super well known A-list actors. It's got Robert Downey Jr. It's got Keanu Reeves, Woody Harrelson, Winona Ryder. I mean, this thing is full of stars, and it's such an interesting story, and the art style is fascinating.
Yeah, the art
Yeah.
style alone is enough to just...
Recommend by itself.
Yeah, like just to see a movie made in this way, I think is worth watching, just for that reason alone. It is. They filmed the entire movie and then had a team of artists draw over every single frame of the movie to make it look like, well, I mean, cartoonish. It's kind of hard to describe because it's not something that you probably will have ever seen in any other film.
Mhm.
The art style of it in particular, but it's worth a watch, and as I've said, I would recommend anybody to actually see
It's
it.
got this weird gritty like Telltale Telltale Games animation mixed with like
God does.
90s, like it's just got an age to it, right? Like it's before its time in that way, but yeah, it's incredibly unique in its own way.
I want to do a quick check. The mic is on, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right. You sound confident. Number 4.
Hell yeah.
Wait, is it my
George.
number 4?
You own the egg.
God damn it, I don't know how this works.
That's why I said number 4. He gave you that.
My number 4 is going to be on other people's list later. Spoiler. It is it's another dystopian movie. It's my only comic book movie on here. You got
Be
it.
on mine then.
It's V for Vendetta.
Mm.
Ah, that movie's so good. Reactions I'll have to every movie on all this list, but
Yeah.
Good Lord. The 50 minutes that we talked about this movie was 45 minutes of them talking. And Mason and I just looking at each other, just drooling.
I was.
Why?
this movie gets more fucking. It starts calling shit more and more ahead of its time. Like
It's like The Simpsons.
it is. You know what? It is, but it also
Hey, look
has.
who's over there.
Yeah, there he is.
Yeah.
There it is. Hey, it's him, and it's him, and he's playing the like violin or whatever.
And he just vanishes into the shadows.
Right.
Here you go, sir.
It's not about the people. Or it is about the people. I don't remember how this movie goes. Whatever. Yeah, word on your dick. So, D for dick. But, yeah, no, it's my favorite Natalie Portman role.
Shut up.
It is.
Get
Have you seen
outta
Brothers?
here.
Recently.
You get out of here.
Yeah. You guys say that, but then it's like, all right, what's yours? Black Swan?
No.
Yeah, go ahead. Find your
Thor.
favorite Natalie Portman role.
Obviously.
Annihilation.
She's
I
the
was- that was
movie's
a
good,
joke.
but she's not
She
exceptional.
is.
She's okay. Whatever. Anyway,
She's
long
so
story
good in that
short,
movie.
wonderful actress, but it's my favorite role. She plays like this hopeless romantic in it in that own way against V's foil of it. Like, I think it's just such a strange. It's a thing that does multiple things. It's like this tragic love story. It's a crusading dystopian action. It's got all these things, and for me, I like a movie that gets a little diverse and does tones and things all very well. It doesn't sit there and fail in any of the ambitions that it sets out to do. The story is crazy and over the top. It's very go fuck the man, and the system is ruined. And me and Nathan are on that Rage Against the Machine vibes with it, and it's just it just does it right. It's one of the movies where it sold me over whenever I rewatched it on our review, and I thought I was like rose tinted glasses so hard on this movie. It's gonna drop to like an 8 to a 7.5.
was the same mindset I had with it too.
And I sold on it even more at that point. I was just like, wow, blows me away. I
It's
set
like
the bar
against
down.
the grain, but you were still just.
Exactly,
Yeah.
no. It just proved to be a smooth drink again. And I'm like, man, I appreciate this more now than I did back then. And again, as it gets the quarantine COVID stuff and all of that, felt so meta in its talk 14, 15 years later from when it was made. I was just like, wow. So I just love it. I have so much appreciation for it and how much it's able to do. Hugo Weaving does a whole thing behind his mask the entire time, but you feel like the face is changing whenever he's doing his expressionism and his voice and stuff like that. That's just exceptional. Plus, Natalie Portman gets in that little, like, the bubblegum girl outfit a little bit. That's fun. The little priest is like, a little old for my taste, but I think I'll make an exception. Like, yeah, it's Natalie Portman. Get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? I just want to see how much I can take the
I
rails
don't
off.
remember that at all, but
Yeah,
I
it's
feel like I was there.
Yeah, and he goes up in there and he's like, Bishop, you were gonna. And he says the stuff and he leaves the rose,
A little old for my taste.
Yeah, remember because he's.
I don't remember that, but I'm glad.
Yeah, he's so slimy. It's so. She kicks him in the dick, and then she runs away.
Can we please continue?
I'm waiting. Mason's not taking his turn.
Oh, okay,
Do
that's
you
my
take the egg
cue.
yet?
Nope.
I don't know how
that's
this
your cue.
works.
Alright, it's my cue.
Come on.
The little old for my taste was my cue. My number 4 is a drama. It's 7 Pounds. It's just a Will
That
Smith. It's not that it's the saddest movie that you'll ever watch, but it brings together a lot of these like. It's a movie that just develops as the movie goes on. It doesn't give it to you all at the beginning and then you see what happens from there. You don't learn this guy's intentions and his motivations until towards the very end. And even then, there's still more to the storyline. If you guys haven't seen it, I almost picked it once, but if you know the ending,
I know the ending, but I've never watched
it doesn't ruin
Same
it,
here, Dylan.
but it does sort of like, I don't know. It's a very slow ride. That's the only problem. That's mainly why I
jellyfish.
wouldn't pick it for this. It goes on it's not that it's a long movie either. It's just really slow. Probably Will Smith's best performance in my opinion. Pursuit of Happiness. You could compare it to. I think it's way better than that, but it's just this like doesn't make you feel super great.
Can't wait to see where iRobot gets on your list.
Number 2.
Yes.
Shia LaBeouf's other top 10 performance for me. I'm just
He's
kidding.
in that?
He is.
Yeah,
He's
he
a
is.
kid that cusses too much.
Mhm.
Huh.
Just
Oh,
like
yeah,
in
he
Constantine.
He's in that.
Yeah, he's the kid
Yeah,
who
he's
cusses
definitely
too much.
Constantine.
Yeah.
I remember.
He gets
I probably
fucking-
said that in
Yeah,
that
he's
too.
the
Yeah,
taxi
he's-
driver.
Yeah, he's
Oh,
the taxi driver.
yeah.
He gets bounced by the angel and dies for no reason.
Yeah. So that's my number 4. And now Nathan.
Too young, you gotta pass that one. So.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
so
Too young for my taste.
my
Too
number
old for my
4 is gonna be Fight Club.
Yeah.
It's definitely a classic. I'm sure everybody has seen it multiple times.
Mhm.
His name was Robert
it's-
Paulson.
Yeah, yeah.
Brad
You know,
Pitt's
it's one of
jacked.
those ones that
Shredded
um,
more.
Brad Pitt is ridiculous.
It's so like just inundated in the culture, and
Yeah.
it's so overly memed. Like it's really it's played out.
It's not that it's overly memed though, right? It's
Yeah.
really not. It is just like you said. It is embedded in all the culture, and everyone just knows.
It's
Fight
like
Club.
it's like
Yeah.
movies' worst kept secret, which is kind of ironic considering the
Yeah.
movie's thing
Yeah.
with it. It's just like, oh yeah, we all know about it, we all love it. We
It's-
just,
yeah, and like
Yeah, but it's one of those things where I feel like it becomes like not cool to think that it's a cool movie.
No, you're right.
Maybe,
Because
yeah,
it's
it's
so
the same.
popular, it's such a safe bet. Everybody's like,
Yeah.
of course, this
It's
is
Kind of
Oh,
like,
yeah,
kind of like
no.
Boondock, like
Right.
that and Boondock Saints are the posters
Right.
that are on every college freshman's
Yeah.
dorm.
right.
Boondock
It's too
Saints
popular to
and-
be considered somebody's personal favorite, but in
Mhm.
reality, it's like,
but
yeah,
it was kind of groundbreaking.
I mean it's
Yeah,
yeah,
it
it's,
was.
it's
yeah.
a very solid film.
It is.
It has interesting like your first time watching it, you're going to have a good experience with it. I think. I don't
Mhm.
think anybody
You're exactly
walks
right.
away from this movie the first time going like I don't know
Right.
what this was all about. Like I
And-
don't know why everybody thought that this was such a great movie.
Yeah. And I can tell you right now, I think I watched that. I've seen that movie approximately one time, and I think
Really?
I watched it about 6 years ago. I could watch it today. I can't remember much of it, but I could watch it today and probably get the exact same result.
Yeah.
I remember that the pixies are at the very end. That's the only
Yeah.
iconic scene that I really remember when
The-
all
the
the stuff
buildings
is
the
coming
building's
down.
falling. Yeah,
Yeah.
And Where's My Mind is playing, and it's just this like
we need that feature.
we need that edited into this. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
But you're right. Like upon first watch, if you're actually paying attention to it and you're even halfway invested in the movie, I think you're always gonna have a good time for the first watch for sure.
I'm betting good money this movie will make another resurgence here in about another 10 or 20 years when it's
I'd probably
fallen
wanna see
out of
that.
like the mainstream eye, and like we have the Zoomers and generation who never grew up watching it, and they're like,
Yeah.
everybody kept saying it's a good movie, and they don't know the punchline, right? They don't know about like all of the like ins
and Tom Holland will be
And
one
Tom
of
Holland.
the two. Would be
Oh, yeah, when
Edward
they
Norton's
recreate it.
character.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
you saying if they
It's a
were-
remake.
Yeah, if they
I
remake
hope
it.
they don't remake it. They don't need
Yeah,
to.
they-
Or
I
the
don't
kid from
think
Room.
it really needs it at
Little
all.
kid. That's like,
Oh,
he's in, Good Boys or Bad.
What is that?
I don't even know
one
his name.
one thing I'll say.
Butterfield, Asa.
No, that kid's too old.
I don't know if I would
Too
say
old,
that
huh?
it deserves to be remade. I don't think that
No, it
makes a lot of
shouldn't be.
sense.
It
But
absolutely
I will
shouldn't
say that the writer of the book,
Mhm.
Chuck Palahniuk,
Yeah.
or
Yeah,
Palahniuk,
that's
Yeah,
right.
Paul,
he has several books that I've read that I think could definitely see their way into
Right,
being
for-
movies too. That would be really entertaining, and I'm kind of surprised that, for as well as this did,
Mhm.
that at least as far as I'm aware, none of the rest of his books have really like made it into cinema.
Yeah.
And that was what was the brothers' names that did that?
Oh,
You know, the starts with a W,
Swachowski?
wasn't it?
which
That was
one?
one
Wachowski?
director. No, it was
No,
one.
that's-
It was one director.
I thought that was.
He's
one
a
of the
really
brothers,
no.
or
He's
like,
a very famous director.
No,
I
the director
forgot
who
who
did
it
that
is.
one is...
David Fincher.
Yeah, Fincher. It's a
Yeah.
Fincher film.
Oh, just
Yeah.
kidding.
Yeah.
The
The-
Social Network.
Yeah, Social
Yeah.
Network, same director.
Was
Yeah.
I think of like the Matrix? Did they?
The Matrix
Yeah,
are the
that's-
Wachowski brothers.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's
Well,
yeah.
Yeah.
now the Wachowskis.
Yeah.
They identify they and them. Keep
Surprise!
it.
Guess whose turn it is?
Number 3?
Number
Okay,
4.
Do I pass
Nope.
this?
No, not yet.
How does this work?
I'm telling you all. When I said I like Ride Your Wave, I really did,
Oh,
and I was
shit.
really wanting to put that here. I really
Which
was.
means it's higher than that.
But man, that climax really brings it down.
Mhm.
Like pretty hard. It's like from it
it's
brings it
post-nut
down.
clarity, but
It-
with
it-
waves.
Yeah, it brings it down harder than like a tidal wave falling from a skyscraper and
Yikes.
annihilating a town.
Wait, is that Is that symbolic? Is that post-nut clarity literally? It's just
No, that's
wave,
what-
Yeah, I mean,
wave coming
it's
down from a water.
It's a giant.
It's a giant phallic object
phallic
with a
building.
water-
Don't need all this.
Water
And then you
surging
realize this
through the
movie is
middle.
not that good.
And then it.
Oh, no.
Wow. Okay, you know what? I came back around. That's actually pretty deep that they have that in the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
We'll allow
clever.
it. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Number
yeah,
It
two.
just got banned on YouTube.
Are you are you all done
That was
with
it. That was
Can
our
we?
check it out.
Can you photo edit that scene? Can you get that scene back into it while we're talking about?
He's
that?
not. But again, I really like this movie. If you could just cut out that like 15 minutes, it would be so high for me.
The ending.
Couldn't put it in there, so instead I'm going with The Night is Short, Walk On Girl. I mean, it's a beautifully animated movie. The colors pop super well. The story's super interesting. Like the first like 2/3, you get like the story about this girl who just like keeps going and getting all these adventures with the guy kind of following her around, and then that kind of ends, and then the last third is a really kind of like existential kind of dread movie where it's like inside the guy's head and like, am I good enough to be with her? And then she's like trying to be with him, super sweet. But the music's super good. Love the characters. I know I've said that a bunch, but I mean, I do kind of see everybody's argument that like the guy in it is kind of creepy.
He's fucking terribly
Oh,
creepy. He's
he's-
the bishop
He is.
priest from V for Vendetta.
It's kind of one of these Japanese things. Just like I gotta get over it. Whatever. He's not malicious. He only has good intentions.
He like
But
that kind
whatever.
of character to me is like the exact idea of why animes always like just make me at least a little repulsed and like just like I don't know about this.
As an anime
Like,
defender,
But he
Most
wasn't.
animes,
He really is
I
not
just-
being that
yeah.
bad. He doesn't have his hands on her. He's not like pining after her. He's not getting those nosebleeds all the time that
no
anime characters get. He's just like, I want to talk to her.
But
I want
he's-
to talk to her. I'll do anything to talk to her.
But he goes about it in such a stalker way that even with the anime trope of it,
It's
the funny
very
thing is,
stalkery.
it's
It's
anime,
very stalkerish.
It's anime
Yeah.
trope turned down. That's the thing, and
Yeah,
it's still jarring.
like even turned down because you're saying a lot more extreme examples.
right, which is
Not that
traditional
we really
tropes.
want to dig super
Yeah,
deep into this
yeah,
movie, but I'm just
yeah.
saying like
It's,
it's an example of the kind of thing that makes me not like animes.
it's right.
But I
that's
will
for him.
say that
I love
overall that is a wonderful movie.
It was-
It's a great movie. I think
I don't
it's just
think-
that he's an undeserving character
Oh, yeah.
sitting there.
I don't
getting-
think any of us went into it with super high hopes, and that's exactly how
No, yeah.
we ought to have been because it was.
We're not expecting
much
Fight Club out
better
of this fun ride. Yeah.
than what we thought because we watched a trailer.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the day before we all
I
watched
we
forgot
it.
did.
that's how we picked that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
But I thoroughly enjoy it. I mean, it's super enjoyable ride to me. That character doesn't get to me that much. I don't really care. He doesn't seem malicious to me. Whatever. If it was real life, yeah, that's really freaking weird. But it's a movie. It's playing into the romantic aspect of it. I really enjoy everything else about it. So Mason should be number 3.
I don't know how this
We're
works.
in our top 3 now with Yoshi Egg. This is the last movie that I've talked about on this podcast. Oh yeah, on this podcast. It is Fantastic Mr. Fox. I mentioned earlier that was my last comedy. You know, this movie, it
This
is
is
a
a long one
comedy.
for brothers.
I know. I'm really setting the pedestal out.
Both
Yeah.
movies are actually brothers. It's one for either brother.
You guys didn't know it had a sequel?
Yeah. Oh my god.
Tell
me that's true.
I wish. No, so Fantastic Mr. Fox, I've gushed over it before. It's the only movie that I would consider a 10 that I've given on this podcast. It's so fun. It's cheery. It's happy. It's almost gritty if you're not used to that style, and I could totally understand it. But I think, again, George Clooney, you had all of the Wes Anderson people all in there, Owen Wilson, Bill Murray, Edward Norton, Adrian Brody, all of them. Jason Schwartzman, my goodness, you can just go on and on and on. But I do think that this movie, if given the chance, at least half of the people that watch it might like it. And that's okay. I don't care that everyone likes it. But such a fun ride. Just a bunch of animals digging and trying to survive after one fox just messes the whole scheme up. So fun. That's it. That's my number 3.
We just did this with my movie, but the voice actors kind of distract me from the movie, personally.
From
Especially
Fantastic
with voice
Mr. Fox.
acting.
The talent behind is a little too heavy for like.
Well,
what's
because
in
you're
front
left
of
sitting there and be like, oh, I think that's...
I spent
And
too
then
much
you get on
time
your
being
phone,
like,
like,
yeah.
oh yeah, I think that is...
That's exactly
I'm
what I was
exactly
thinking.
right. That's who that is. And then you're doing that to the next person, the next person, the next person.
Then you're
I
just
guess.
like seeing, you're only seeing like George Clooney, or
Right.
just seeing Ed Norton, like
I'm seeing
Owen
them.
Wilson. You're
Yeah,
not-
animal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing that's gotten really annoying with me with Hollywood voice acting,
Yeah.
with animation.
Yeah,
like, they have to
I
have the
would
big
rather-
actors. That's why we get the Mario movie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
That's
yeah,
exactly
that,
what-
that's
the
a
Donkey Kong
perfect
movie.
example of one that's going to be distractingly bad. I
Yeah.
think. Yeah.
Seth Rogen is Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
And apparently they're planning on making a solo Donkey Kong movie already.
Yeah, they are.
I don't understand.
As long as
Nintendo
Cranky
make
Kong's
money.
in there,
Brr.
we're good.
Nintendo go brr.
Hello, America.
Yeah, pretty much.
So stupid, but sorry.
Well,
Go ahead, Nathan.
so I'm on number 3.
This is the
Three.
true mystery one for me right
Oh, is it?
now. Uh oh. Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, I know it.
You
Am I about to get a burn CD
this
with
one-
System of a Down on it?
yeah.
Hey, no, but you might get what
Yeah,
music would he get?
You'd get some Rob Zombie.
Maybe
You'd
some
get
Rob
some
Dracula?
Marilyn Manson. Yeah, you get some Dracula. Yeah, so I don't actually have like a box DVD for this because I bought this special collector's edition thing that was this like big glass case that had a bust of Neo and like I don't know where that bust of Neo is. By the way.
What?
But yeah, so
That sounds sick.
spoilers. It's The Matrix.
Yeah.
And there's like 10 DVDs in here with just literally everything you could ever want to see about The Matrix. You know,
That's insane. I didn't even know this existed.
I know that the first one is definitely the best one, and I know that in our review we said that I at least said that it ultimately didn't hold up as well as I thought that it did in my head.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still not gonna let that knock it. It's a great movie. It is the biggest shaper of my music interests as a teenager, so it's going to stay up on its high pedestal regardless of whatever realities there might be about it.
The CG was rough.
Yeah.
It was 1999.
Yeah, like
That is true.
I won't
This
won't
was
try
before
to
the
defend it.
2000s.
I remember us reviewing this in your basement, Price. Back
Yeah.
in Metcalf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
I was
played
the
TI.
only
Yeah.
one that was just like, you guys, it's the freaking Matrix. Like,
Yeah.
let's just give this all the
You
credit
get the
that
past
it
that
needs.
This was in the late
I gave
1900s,
this movie a
as the
9.5.
Zoomers would say.
And soon
What?
enough,
Yeah.
I gave
Think
it a
about that
9.5.
reframing on it.
Oh my god.
And it didn't make my
Mason.
top 10, but I love it. You're
and
right.
soon enough there'll be a new one.
Yeah, there were. I
So
can't.
you're
I seriously
gonna
can't
watch
wait for that. The trailer is my favorite trailer this year by far.
What about the Batman movie?
Second,
Wow, I really like the Batman one too.
the Batman was good, but is it on me? Or
No,
is
it's on me. It's number 3.
What the fuck?
I don't understand how this is
I have
hard.
this happen too. You have a really long period of just being like, I guess.
Yeah, it's the board game.
Anyway, number 3 for me is a movie that's kind of like flown under our radar a little bit. It's not really quoted. It's not really talked about. It is memed a little bit. As soon as I say it, everybody's going to do the same thing immediately. Number 3 for me is The Departed.
Run! It only happens 3 times? Twice, but it feels
like a
it's
lot.
So
two more
loud.
times than you think it would be.
Yes.
It's so loud. They got the rights to shipping out to Boston.
Yeah, god damn that song.
Oh man, but it's just this,
Nichols.
it's just there's so much going on in this movie, which is it's kind of similar to Snatch in that regard. That like there's a lot going on underneath the scenes, and that scene of Matt Damon and DiCaprio like on the phone with each other, like they finally find out like somebody else is like on the other line is like iconic for a reason. And I mean, there's so many different moments in this movie that keep you on your toes. Like it's not like one of those
Like the
typical
soundtrack
movies.
when a surprise comes in.
It's not like a slow burn and then the climax happens and then like the declining action or whatever you say. Like there are multiple moments of like violence, like stuff that happens to keep you interested the whole time while super engaging Scorsese dialogue is playing the whole time. And like how it like you would never guess how this movie ends. You couldn't.
Yeah.
There's no way, which I really
on
like.
a first watch, if you don't know, you will not see it coming.
Yeah, so that's the only issue that I have with The Departed is that ending. It's great. It's just like, the first watch is on I don't know.
It's a first watch movie, but then afterwards, man, does the drop off hit.
Yeah.
But I I very much disagree with that because like the drop off on the rewatch, I think what happened is if like I didn't know he was the bad guy, or like something like with the Prestige, which I'm seeing right now, like the rewatchability on that is kind of hard because you're like, oh, I know the trick to this.
Or Training Day.
I know like
that
what
twist at the end.
Yeah, like you know the trick, but like. In The Departed, it's just like everything kind of comes to a head. Like you don't really expect what's happening to happen, but it doesn't really taint any future watches, in my opinion, because I've seen it so many times. It's just super interesting the whole time, and I like Scorsese. I do. I think he's about like Tarantino.
It is one of his more fun movies.
Yeah,
for sure.
Oh, totally.
For his catalog, yeah.
The Irishman is so indulgent. It is absurd. Like I watched it, and it's just like 4 hours of dry dialogue the whole time.
Irishman, yeah, that movie.
The Netflix movie.
That movie sucked dick. Fuck you, Scorsese.
It's got a really good message behind it that like you basically like you reap the actions that you sow, and it's really good. But man, like 2 hours needs to be trimmed off that. But that's beside the point. I like Scorsese. I like all the actors in it. DiCaprio is one of my favorites. It's a really enjoyable time for me all the way through. Mason, or you have the egg, so it's number 2 for you, Nathan.
No, wait, it's Dylan.
No, Dylan still has to do his number 3. I still have to do
my number 3.
You were skipping yours.
Good job.
No.
Dylan's like, I don't know how this works, but that's not it.
Well, apparently Police doesn't know how it works
See?
either.
See?
Hey, you got me.
Fucking God.
You ready for this?
Damn it.
Scramble.
Nice.
Okay,
All right.
Yoshi got it.
My number 3. With the score of 9.5. Actually, a handful of these movies have had 9.5s, if I'm being honest. But
your top 2 has to be pretty locked in.
We'll see. I'll tell you my number 3, though, is definitely locked in. I have a hard time seeing how this number 3 will get knocked off. It's weird. Like 3 through 1, pending 1.
Please just keep going.
Is a little. I don't know. They feel like I wouldn't know how to put a movie above it.
Please just keep going.
And it is.
Best Jurassic Park.
Our favorite little sports movie. Our favorite little movie with heart. It's Warrior. Get jacked! Tom Hardy, number 3!
Yeah. Get you some laughs.
Yeah. You think I wasn't putting Tom in my...
I almost put that in my honorable mentions.
Yeah. You don't think he doesn't get in this list twice? Just one for each brother he plays in that one movie?
That one movie?
Is it Legend or Law?
Legend.
Okay, I forget. Yeah. Law, it's another Tom Hardy movie, I think, right? Not important. Anyway, we're going to talk about Warrior. This movie's so goddamn good. This movie you go and you're like, yeah, sports movie. I don't really like sports movies. So I mean, MMA fight, whatever.
Don't sound like that.
Yeah, that's how Price sounds. So he goes in and he's just like, I don't think this movie's gonna be that good. Fucking, dude, set your bar so low. Go in here thinking this is gonna be a B, C rated movie.
I got done watching this at like 10 o'clock on a school night for the first time, and I got done and I was like, I can't go to sleep
You
yet.
can't go to gym.
I don't know what I'm gonna do. If I mess something up.
If I had the time, I would watch this before I go to the gym every time, and I would have the best fucking pump, dude.
You just have to get 2.5 hours allotted.
So forget creatine shakes, forget pre-workout. Tom Hardy's all you need.
Even if I just skip to like some of the fights, we've talked
Mad
about
Dog
this
fight.
The Mad Dog fights are so good every time. It's the most satisfying fights, right? You get into the fights with the Russian,
Kurt Angle?
Yeah, Kurt Angle. I'm forgetting his name right now, though. Shame. Anyway, Kurt Angle playing a Russian with no lines. Good call. Like, he's so bulky, big, and intimidating. Oh my, he looks like it's such a scary motherfucker. All of those fights. Tom Hardy, the brothers, you know, I mean, it just has all the themes we love on this podcast. And it is a movie with such an incredible amount of heart. Out of all the movies on this list, on my top 10, this is the number 1 in heart with it. This is one that you just watch and the emotion transcends everything. Mm-hmm. The story, love or hate it, whatever you can say, it's like a simple, like, tale of brothers fighting and getting into this. It's not particularly original. It has the family drama aspects there, which just, you know, they hit a special spot for me on that stuff. And just seeing them fight off, and it's just, I don't know. It's a movie that shouldn't be as good as it is, and that's what I always think about it whenever I watch it. Like, I remember just watching it the first time, and I think it was like, with like an ex-girlfriend's family, and they're like, yeah, it's this MMA movie, and I'm like, cool. Went in thinking I'm looking at like 5, maybe a 6 movie at best, and just blown away. Like, just like locked in, so much emotion, just felt the roller coaster throughout it. It is so much more than it just looks on paper. just go watch it.
You know the best quote of the whole movie, right? I had to look it up just to make sure I didn't mess it.
Which one? It's the one where he's telling him to go. Is it the speech?
Yeah. He says
Frank Grillo fucking crushes
exactly.
the coach.
Frank, yeah. He says, "We'll get."
You gotta
Tess
say
and
it like him, Mason.
Yeah.
I can't remember. He's got like a weird northern.
Give it to
accent.
Dylan and make him do it.
You got top one.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, study up for a sec.
Yeah. We'll get Tess and we will go home. You don't knock him out, you lose the fight. Understand me? You don't knock him out, you don't have a home.
Hell yeah,
Dude,
yeah.
I get teary thinking about that scene, dude. That's just so
good.
Dude, it's so that is the speech though. You
It
fucking
is.
tell him that.
It is. That's
And
better than
so-
all the Rocky movies. Like I know, and I'm like treading in dangerous waters.
Yeah, no, you're
This
right,
is
though.
It though. This is the boxing.
I like
MMA mar-
I like the Rocky, I like the Creed stuff, the Creed
Yeah.
like Creed one just talks up, but Frank Grillo to oh god, his name.
It's no.
Nick Nolte.
No, he's
No.
the other brother.
Bad.
It's not Tom Hardy. It's,
Something Egert, isn't it?
less important. Whatever. He's great. Everybody's great in this movie. Edgerton, yeah.
Joel.
Joel Edgerton, yeah. Also, everybody's great in this movie.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, Nolte. Smoking a sag about. Yeah, fucking great.
He's honestly the best.
The wife I think is absolutely fantastic too. A criminally underrated support.
I was just thinking, you're talking about Nick Nolte, made me think of Over the Hedge because I watched that over the weekend.
Yeah.
Hans Zimmer,
Oh, okay, that's the
That's
one you were going on
attached
about.
to Over the Hedge.
Yeah.
Hey, give him some credit. It's not that bad of a
He wants to have
movie.
fun and just make some wacky shit sometimes.
Yeah.
You watched Barnyard?
Yeah.
And I started screaming, and my family was like, "Why are you making a big deal?" I was like, "He did like Star Wars and like Harry Potter."
Well, that's George Williams.
Oh, I don't care.
Zimmer is.
They didn't know any better.
Zimmer is like the, like the Nolan stuff.
Oh, ugh,
Alright, so
never
I'm gonna cut you short here on your Warrior.
Anyway.
Last thoughts?
I'm gonna say on
So
Warrior
good.
though.
So good.
The,
So good.
the fights are some of the best fights I've ever seen in cinema, but to me the drama outside of it, like I thought that kind of took it down for me.
Took it down. Oh, I'm the
I
total.
think it was the
opposite,
whole package.
Okay.
It does. It did
It could be a
everything
personal
for me.
thing.
I mean, and for the action to be as good as it is too, they don't do that bullshit cuts like they. Tom Hardy and Joel Edgerton were fucking fighting each other in this one, and they were like, "All right, you're gonna do it. We ain't doing cuts. We ain't doing that shit where we're taking away and like doing that like bad like Hollywood action stuff." They just stuck with it. So
Really
so much
good.
sweat.
so much sweat. Well, I mean, if you're looking at Tom Hardy shirtless,
True.
have you seen those fucking traps in that movie?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Now it's
So
Oh, Jesus,
now-
I don't know. Price
now
doesn't
we
know
do
either.
Honorable mentions.
No.
No,
we're
we do it
at
after
number
two.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Before we do our number one.
All right. Well, number 2, Mad
Oh,
Max,
yeah.
Fury Road.
Speaking of, this is gonna be a long one.
You know, it's man. This movie, whenever we reviewed it, I remember just thinking like, ugh, I am exhausted. And
We watched this one together.
we watched it all together. We watched it in.
One of I think it's the only time we have.
Yeah.
It might be the no, Queen of the Damned.
Mm.
My movies apparently are.
They bring all the boys to
They,
the yard.
they
God.
are worthy of gathering together to watch as a group.
You're
That
right.
is
I couldn't have said
such
it better
a bad
myself.
movie.
It's only your movies that are worth our
Um,
time.
And we had everyone here, like
Oh, yeah.
all the girls were here too.
Everybody,
Mm.
everyone watched.
And we
that
all
movie.
watched Queen of the Damned together, and that did not help the score, as you know. It
Oh,
didn't
no,
help it at
was
all.
fine.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah,
go-
the thing that didn't help the score was the death of the Queen.
just continue with your Mad Max.
Anyway, Mad Max is a extremely high-paced, borderline exhausting movie. You need to be prepared. Do not be tired when you go to watch this movie, because I think that's really what made my score not hit as high as I think it otherwise would, because I've seen it since then, and I still think that it's an incredible film. It's visually very engaging. Understanding like the kind of outside aspect of the fact that the director, whenever he was editing the film, like the way he approached, like considering the way somebody's eyes are going to be looking at the screen and making sure that in order to basically keep you from not being overwhelmed by this movie, where you should be paying attention, even between cuts, is always in the same spot. So if some action's moving across the screen and then it cuts, the action picks up in the next cut at the spot where it wants your eyes to be like going back in another direction, which is a smart way to try and make what is an just overwhelming film, not absolutely exhaust your eyeballs by just darting all over the place.
So you're saying like the action like kept it pretty visually stimulating, almost over so, and that like the visuals really went along with that, and that like you have to go in with the right mindset to watch this movie.
He wants to make a point
Don't
somewhere.
Don't give him what he wants.
Don't let him agree.
Not the right mindset. I just think you need to not be like
Tired.
You don't want to be tired because this is an intense ride.
Sounds like another awesome movie that I picked that no one enjoyed.
He's talking about Paprika.
Mm-mm.
Foxcatcher?
Promare.
Romer? No, that's not it at all. There's nothing folklore
Okay.
technical about it. Shut up. Shut up, Bryce.
So-
This sounds
Studio-
like the
it's
exact
Studio
same
Trigger's
thing.
voice.
I
You're number two,
want to
right?
see.
No.
I want to
Oh,
see
number
an analysis of Promare and its flow of action from cut to cut.
I don't think
wanna
it has
see if-
that.
I want to see if it does the same thing, because that's what I'm talking
Pew, pew,
about
pew,
here. What I'm talking
started
about
blasting.
is Promare should have like taken classes with the guy that edited Mad Max
Yeah.
to know how to visually not.
I think the
over-destroy
director of
the
Promare
song.
should have been like twitching in the corner, just like, nope.
So, you know when you go and you watch like a play and there's one spotlight and it's huge and it follows the person around consistently? It's the difference of that and going to a Daft Punk concert with the fucking lights flailing everywhere with no focus at all and it's all spectacle.
And just hearing in the background, burning passion.
Yes, yeah.
Burning desire, burning passion.
I'm sorry, are you good, Nathan?
Yeah. Oh, I'm good now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're out of gas, if you will.
My last two are no surprises to anybody because
Gasoline.
I talk about these two movies all the time. I don't care if they're not a surprise. That's just a reason that they're my top movies.
Bullet
Number two is going to Step Brothers.
Of
It's
course. Yeah.
I mean it has to be.
Yeah.
It's got like none of the jokes miss. All the jokes are funny. I love all of the characters, every single one of them. They're all super funny. There's one-off lines that you may catch the third time through that you didn't catch the second time through, and just everything's so funny. Do not watch the director's cut. I watched that one. It just extends some jokes to just make them not funny. Like the first Step Brothers is cut very it's edited very well to where like the joke is funny for this long, and that's as long as it should be. Next scene. But in the director's cut, like it extends some scenes. Like the ones I can think of in particular, both involve dinner tables, which I know we're fans
Dinner
of.
table
Yeah.
The first one is the first dinner with them, like with the chicken nuggets and like them arguing at the first part, and the other one is like the last one where you find out the parents are divorcing. Like that one goes on for forever. It's not good, but to say the good things about this movie, it's not long. I mean, the music is surprisingly good. It goes along with it perfectly. Like, You Make My Dreams Come True, whenever they, like, become friends and start doing the karate and stuff, like, it's all golden. I love this movie, and it's Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly doing what they do best. Yes, they're kind of typecast actors. It's because they're so good at it. They play man-children very, very well.
What about Mark Wahlberg?
What?
Is he a type?
Was he typecast?
Yeah, typecast, but they're not, like, my favorite actors or anything.
Okay.
I think he would have been.
I think he's trying to make a point now. Get off me!
I was just wondering. I said something about typecasting earlier.
It's a comedy. It's a hilarious comedy. Love comedies.
It's got the second best version of Sweet Child of Mine. That's all
That's
I
true.
know.
Number two. I was trying to think of the name and I couldn't come
Sweet
to
Child
it.
of Mine.
That's what it is.
Nope. Best.
Dillian.
Okay, so we're on back to
Numero dos.
Numero two. So this was hard because I didn't know how to sit here and say Jurassicception. And I mean, any given day I could flip a coin and this could probably flip. But I'll give it to Interstellar. No, I'm kidding.
I wish.
Murph!
Gravity is love, Murph.
Murph!
The answer's love and gravity.
No shit, I really do like that movie, dude.
It's so
It's
bad.
so fun.
So good.
It's good.
That's
It's good.
That could honestly be a 1 for me.
Wow.
Shut the fuck up.
I sincerely despise that movie. It does the thing I hate most in movies where like they're like whispering and it doesn't make any sense. And it wah, and it's just so
No, you're just talking
annoying.
about the trailer.
Yeah, you just.
No, I'm talking about the movie.
I'd give it maybe once in the trailer or in the movie that it does that. I watched it more than you, Bryce. I'm sure.
What the
Dylan, please
walls?
continue with your review.
So it's a Nolan one. It's Tom Hardy back to back.
Legend.
It's Inception.
Damn.
Yeah, no surprise.
Damn.
Number one may shock you, and number two won't. It's Inception. I've spoken ad nauseum about this movie. It's debatably the best ensemble film. Period.
No.
Yes. It's not even close. Price is Wrong. Name a better one with the cast as big as this one that nails it and gets it right.
I'll go Snatch then.
Yeah, I was gonna actually say Snatch is a really great ensemble.
Snatch
film.
really does a good job of like going into each character like in equal lengths. In Inception, you really only get DiCaprio. Like
Right.
you only really go into his character.
So I said with the same amount of characters. Snatch has 6.
Yeah, but there's not like a super main focal character that like you really like go into. Like you go into one character and then another one.
Mm-hmm.
Inception, you just do DiCaprio.
So I'm not gonna get into it today. Anyway, we don't got time for it on
Okay.
that one. I'm right. But moral of the story is this movie's fucking good. It's my favorite Leo movie. It is. It's probably my second favorite Tom Hardy movie. Come on, Warrior was so fucking good. Elliot Page. It's now Elliot Page. Stay updated. That's mostly it. It transcends a whole lot of things. It did dream within a dream within a dream. It was a complex movie that continued to get better and understand it a little bit better on rewatches and stuff like that. It goes through the test of time. Goes through those things. Price understood it on the first time when he was 16, and then Price realized he's a fucking idiot from 16 onwards. Which is
I
my
think it was
favorite.
more like 12 or 13.
I don't know how old he was at that time. Well, this was 2010, so Price, he would have been
No, yeah, he
17.
was 16.
17.
It's private information.
Yeah, it's like 16, 17.
Mm.
Anyway, long story short, movie's so good. It's my favorite Nolan film.
It's got an incredible opening scene.
It's got a incredible...
That opening scene, don't blow this out of the water. The opening scene of this movie is really, really, really good.
How's it open?
Honest to God, I don't remember.
With him on the beach, like
Oh,
asleep,
and
you're like, what the heck's going on? And then like,
interrogation,
he like the interrogation, and then that scene with them going through there,
Through
and
the
it's got a
Chinatown.
really cool action scene with the hotel scene.
Yeah.
Oh man,
I think, yeah,
that's really good.
it just starts off and it gives you everything you need to know about what you're in for in this movie. So.
It doesn't
Okay.
give you hardly anything that you need to know. It just
It engages
sets
you.
into
That's what
this like
that's what I want.
No, but
chaos theory of
but-
like I don't know what the fuck's going
Yes,
on.
but
I'm
it engages you and gives you a tease of like the
Yeah.
deeper concepts they're going to explore.
I'm
And
not
this
convinced that by the end of the movie it gives you everything that you need to know.
Right. So yeah. All right. So let me rephrase. It gives you. It is the perfect teaser intro to a movie. Like it is going to be. You have questions when you go
Lots.
into it, and good. But this movie, unlike Tenet, sorry, that movie not for me on that one in a lot of ways. Robbie P was great though, and the protagonist was great too. But in a lot of ways, like Nolan likes to get heady with his shit. That's nobody's surprise. Like he likes to have the deep thinker stuff with that. And Inception on rewatches makes sense. Tenet gets a little wacky. It's this weird like upside down U and stuff like that. And I think that it's a little too much for it. Where this one, I was just like, okay, after a good like 3 to 4 watches, yeah, 3 to 4 watches, I got what they were trying to do with it conceptually. And now I'm like, all right. But then I started appreciating more of the performance, more of the little moments, more of the little like, all right, the true little romance with Marion Cotillard. Oh god, just wonderful. Yes, chef's kiss. Number 2, Inception.
Alright, so my number 2 is very much an indie movie. Price will appreciate the cast, but not appreciate anything else from it because it is basically a
It's not my
teen-ish drama. It's called The Way, Way Back, and it's got Steve Carell, it's got Toni Collette, it's got Bill Hader, it's got Maya Rudolph,
It's a strong comedy.
Anna Sophia Robb.
She's thick.
She's young.
Too young. Too old. Sorry, whatever.
This movie hits a little bit closer to home for me. It's just more like it's a good comedy, I guess, but it's more of like a coming of age. This kid's lost. His mom is like finding some like trouble on the way, and he finds this amusement park, like a Beach Bend sort of thing, Holiday World type place.
You know Beach Bend. You
Yeah,
all know
Holiday
Beach
World.
Bend.
Yeah, you should. Holiday World is probably much easier. And he works there, and he has this community, this family within this. It's very fun, but it's indie. It's like Adventureland, or some of those movies. But yeah, so The Way, Way Back is my number 2. And now I think we do honorable mentions. Price, you go first. Make it snappy.
Did you
Honorable
think that
mentions.
you were gonna have me ending this?
No, I did not.
Got him.
All right, so first my honorable mentions, and then I'll talk about my number 1. So honorable mentions got Kung Fu Panda 2.
Damn.
I really like that movie. And again, I'm just mentioning them. Don't want to go in depth. Kung Fu Panda 2, Kiki's Delivery Service, Nightcrawler, and then the 2 that were the closest to making it on, and I can't believe they didn't, Inglourious Bastards and Princess Mononoke.
Mm-hmm.
Those are my bets.
Yeah, those I really wanted to put them on there, but just couldn't crack it for some
That's
reason.
Zachary. I'm gonna punch you right in the fucking throat.
For my number one?
Yeah.
Reach,
Best
buddy.
movie.
No, I thought everyone know this, but my number one, my favorite movie of all time, has been pretty much the same ever since I was little. When my parents first watched it, it's Tim and Eric again. No, it is Adam Sandler in Billy Madison. From the moment this scene opens and him in the pool drunk, and it's just like, what
The
day is
penguin.
it? October? It's like, oh, Snooty Magazine Day. Like, from there, no joke misses. I love the soundtrack to this movie. It's really good. I mean, it's just goofy, fun the entire time. I mean, there's no depth to it. There's not. It's a comedy. Doesn't need any depth. I mean, you just know that Adam Sandler is a man-child that wants a company for some reason.
Why does Price love
That's-
man-child movies?
That's all you need to know. Those are the top two movies. That's a good point. There is a theme there. But
That was back in Adam Sandler good days.
That's
though.
true. Yeah, this is his heyday.
Really
yeah,
I'll
good
give
stuff.
it.
this is definitely...
I don't dislike this movie at all. I really
Heyday.
don't. That's probably
Yeah.
my number two.
I love this movie so much. It also has nostalgia for me. I mean, I've watched it even with my parents when I was little, but doesn't really play too much into it now because I still love it today. And it's still my favorite movie. It's not long at all. It's like an hour 20. Super short. There's no like super down emotional time where you feel like beat down. Like even Step Brothers kind of has that, but it's still kind of jokey. But this one like has like a very small dip and then like goes right back into comedy and fun. So it doesn't take itself seriously at all. It's aged super well, and I think I'll still like it 20, 30 years from now just because it just is so great to me.
Honorable mentions?
Yep.
So honorable mentions, ones I had to literally set rules on, and ones I came close to just breaking out of the mold because I just think they're that exceptional. I'm a giant Batman shill, so Dark Knight, Batman Begins, Lego Batman, my number 2 Batman film of all time. Honestly, it could be my number 1 at any given moment. That movie's fantastic. Revenge of the Sith and Star Wars, Infinity War, Endgame. We had all my comic book movies coming in. Logan, 100%. Oh man, some of these ones that really deserve a spot.
Man, Logan's good.
And this one's surprisingly, Jurassic Park, honorable mention.
Whoa, so that didn't even make it. I would have pegged that as number 1.
That's what
That's
everybody
what
was
I
saying.
thought.
That's what
What?
you were screaming about 64 movies, and it was the number 1 out of all 64 of those movies.
That's all you could
including
screech was
Inception.
Jurassic Park.
Okay.
So we'll see. We'll see where number 1 goes. But those are my honorable mentions.
Is it Jurassic Park 2? I don't know what
Number
else it could
3.
be.
No, number 3 dropped after a while.
3's so bad.
It dropped immediately.
Let's not roll out Jurassic World though.
You're right.
Yeah.
I forgot.
I don't
Yeah.
understand how Jurassic...
Well, you still have to do
My
number
brain...
Well, we got to do
It
honorable
doesn't
mentions.
make
No, he just
It
did his
doesn't
number
matter.
1.
Oh, did you do number 1? Oh,
Yeah,
I did number
yeah,
1.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm
Don't
just,
look at me.
no, I'm just playing. It's Jurassic Park. Fuck yeah, dinosaurs, baby. Got him. See, look how full Bryce had. That's the horror you have when you watch Jurassic Park, a horror movie. And that's when you watch Jurassic Park, a thriller. And Jurassic Park, a family movie, somehow. How the fuck did all these genres get done perfectly in one movie? I don't get it either, but I fucking love it. It's 94's best piece of art. It's Spielberg's best thing. The animatronics look fucking great. Everybody
Yes,
has
they
a
do.
wonderful performance. Ah, it's so good. Even the raptors in the suits with the fucking tails, which is the worst looking thing and still looks really fucking good in this movie. Yeah. The kitchen scene, so much tension. So much tension. The
Oh,
T-Rex
yeah.
scene,
Brother?
iconic.
Oh, yeah.
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 Sorry, different kitchen scene.
It's all
More
I can
tension
ever
in
do.
Brothers.
Yeah.
For sure.
Unequivocally, the peak of modern classics, modern classics, in my opinion, with that really relative 90s to early 2000s, stuff like that. Yeah, I just love it. This thing does everything right. It's magical. It's now you got nostalgia glasses for throwing that on, but fuck it. I took them off and I'm like still gorgeous. It's fine. Put them back on. Oh,
You Horatio Caned it?
yeah. The entire time, man. It's perfect. It's my perfect movie. Inception's perfect too, but Inception doesn't have fucking dinosaurs in it. And also,
Fuck you.
I remember. So here's a nostalgic fun story. I remember watching this movie with my my best friend at the time. His name is Michael. He lives across the street. Michael Rojo, if you're watching, subscribe to this channel.
Please.
Also message me. I haven't heard from you in years. So I remember we'd be playing across the street. We'd be at his house. We'd be in his room, and he had like a tote full of like toys, right? And we'd dump it out. And I was like, all right, get in the tote. And he's like, okay. And like we'd watch Jurassic Park, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna be the T-Rex. and like he'd have the lid over it, and I'd be like, trying to get through. Dude, there's just so much stupid good shit. We had like this little, there was like a little like woods behind, like what am I thinking of? An orchard, like an apple orchard we lived on at the time. I would chase him around like a raptor with it. Dude, this defines so much of these years. It's insane.
Yeah.
Way longer. I remember I was 16. Same
Oh my
games,
God,
different
Dylan.
people.
Yeah.
Different people.
Yeah.
I'm
Were
gonna
you a raptor too?
Keep,
Yeah.
keep it rolling.
Yeah, so I'm gonna put these guys in totes later and try to eat
Hell
them.
yeah. Eat me.
You know, I just emptied out 2 totes, so I'm
Fuck me
we're
up.
ready.
Let's play.
Yeah.
That's good size for you and Price.
Yeah.
I'm gonna head on out.
No, I'm just gonna attack your car like a T-Rex.
Yeah. Do you have a sunroof?
I do.
Oh,
Perfect.
There it is.
Perfect.
Yep. You
Stand on it.
gotta put your flashlight up in it.
Yeah.
Honorable
And
mentions.
Scream.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, honorable mentions.
The Scream is so good. Scream Queen, Ellie in
Yeah.
that movie too.
So my honorable mentions are Life of Pi. Visually stunning. Love that movie, top to bottom. I know.
You gassy?
I know. Your Name is also an honorable mention. I
Uh.
think it deserves at least a little bit of credit.
I was gonna have to say something if it.
Yeah, if
we
it wasn't
got
get
all
brought
the way
up.
around.
Yeah,
If
that's
it wasn't
fair. It
mentioned.
definitely it's
Yeah.
honorable
Like,
mention for a top.
You
10
knew it
movie.
wasn't gonna be on mine though.
Yeah.
Well, it was almost on mine, but I couldn't. Me and Erlen, the Dying Girl,
Spirited Away.
same thing. It almost made it, but it just not quite. Those are my 3 big ones. But my number 1 is a movie called Never Back Down. You know, Dylan,
I know this.
you said earlier that, you know, you can just remember
Mhm.
whenever you were like, I don't know, watching this.
Right.
Price, you said something about your first kiss. I don't know what movie
Yeah.
that was, but
Wally.
yeah, you just remember where you are when you watch these movies. And this movie got me so jacked up. If you liked Warrior, think of Warrior, but like a super small condensed can.
Then
Okay.
why don't you pick it?
You guys can just watch it.
It's your favorite movie. Why would we not watch it?
Because it's gonna get ripped apart.
It probably will, but it's dumb fun.
It's gonna
huh?
be like The Punisher.
How
it's
many
gonna be like
times?
Brother.
How many
it's gonna be
times
all
did they
these
say
movies.
"Never Back Down" in that movie though?
One time. John
Yeah.
Roca does it.
Yeah, and he crushes it, doesn't he?
Never give up, never back down.
It's no Frank Grillo speech, but I'll give him it's
Yes.
pretty high in this.
Does he
one.
take
Yeah.
off his glasses and go, yeah?
No, he's going
He
to
does
Horatio
that.
Caine.
Yeah!
Last thing, I mentioned soundtracks are huge, and all of those movies basically have at least a couple songs that have stuck with me. This movie, the entire fucking soundtrack. It's got Red Jumpsuit Apparatus,
Yeah.
It's got Rise Against, it's got...
What?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a
got,
crazy soundtrack.
Stereo, Gender Class Heroes, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Soulja Boy is in there. Like, it's just this weird collection of music
What?
that gets you freaking going.
I remember thinking I thought the same thing.
Soldier
So
Boy has
good.
never got me
Yes,
going.
Travis
Yeah.
Barker.
You wait.
Yeah,
You
Travis
wait.
Barker remix of like Soulja Boy Town.
Yeah,
Crank
yeah.
that.
Uh-huh.
So good. Anyways,
It's a punk cover. You appreciate it.
Ah,
Yeah, it
Ah.
is. Yeah,
Is it Our Last Night?
Yep.
Oh, all right.
it's from like 2006.
Yeah.
son of a
Our last
bitch,
night
I
wasn't
mean.
even born yet.
It just got big. All right, that's my number 1.
Okay.
love that one.
So for me, honorable mentions, I guess. I think I would get a lot of flack if I didn't mention Captain Fantastic, as that is.
You gave it like a 9.5.
Yeah. I mean, it's up there. But I'll remind you that I gave Waterworld a 9.
Ooh.
Oh my god.
Hey.
So yeah, I was just while we
Space
were going
Truckers
through this,
guy.
I was kind of like
Space
retracing
Truckers
through.
guy.
Yeah, you know, Space Truckers is pretty good.
What?
Anyway, so you know, a lot of you guys have mentioned some of the other honorable mentions that I would have.
Yeah.
Me and the Dying Girl actually
Underrated. Very underrated.
You know, it was super early on, so
Yeah.
I think we forget about it a lot.
Retro.
But it's pretty good.
Oh wait, we recorded that.
Moonrise
No, we didn't.
Kingdom also.
Yes.
I really liked
It
that.
almost made an honorable mention for
Yeah.
me. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so 3 movies that Mason had picked
Woo.
are in my.
Don't quite
honorable
make the cut
mentions.
though.
Well, so I mean, the problem is I don't physically own them.
I'll buy
remember
them.
the cut.
Yes.
The cut was if I actually
Fully own
owned the
them.
DVD.
Yeah.
I know for a fact it would have beat out a couple.
So let's
of
show
those.
Life of Pi.
Life of Pi.
Life of Pi. No, I'm kidding.
I love that movie.
What's your number one?
So, my number 1, of course, is
The only man who loves it more than me. That's
V
me.
for Vendetta.
Yeah.
And you know, it probably actually would be number 1 even if you know, even if I'd done this list like a normal person would.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's it's been talked about a lot already, but it's
Mostly
really, to me, it's a perfect film. There's nothing about it that I think drags. The only thing that I have like in my head thought like, that scene really took a long time was the whole prison scene and the whole like almost brainwashing kind of thing that B does.
Necessary.
And that's one of those things where it's like some people probably would say that that's a detracting point from it, but it's a necessary story.
Mm-hmm.
It's I think everything about this movie deserves to be in it, and it has great social commentary. It's just really smartly done, and everybody performs exceedingly well in it. So that one's gonna be my number one.
It looks like V for Vendetta and Jojo Rabbit were the only two
consistent ones
that had multiple.
They only overlap.
Yeah.
That's surprising.
Yeah, that was a 1 and a 4, and then JoJo was a
6.
9 and a 8.
Yeah, 9 and 8.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
you had
Oh,
a
of course.
7.
If you didn't have that, if you didn't have that criteria, I could see Snatch being like a 10.
You mean my list? Yeah, Snatch.
I meant like number 10.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Snatch is really good.
I mean, you and me were very hot on it.
Yeah, it was one of those ones where it's like I had seen it a long time ago and pretty much completely forgotten about it. Then this guy just reawakening that.
Whoop,
It's
3.
just like, wow,
Mhm.
like this is a fantastic movie.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Super enjoyable. But that was just a different way to kind of end the season. We'll just say a few parting thoughts on this season, I guess. Feel like to just a few.
It was the best season, hands down.
The wheel is
We
all...
like the wheel.
The wheel is the only. The wheel is truth. The wheel is
Stand
love.
right here.
Yeah.
The wheelbearer. Yeah, the wheel definitely brought a different tempo to everything. It wasn't so exact. It wasn't so like, you might have 4 movies on there, but it might also not get picked, or 3 movies or whatever it was.
Bad Education was one of mine that never got touched.
And it
I
never
put it at
will.
the very beginning,
Mine
and it still has not been picked.
Casablanca's up there.
and Casablanca.
Casablanca? Is
Those
it?
two.
Yep. Is that just those two?
Yeah.
So we have 2 categories on there.
Me
out
and
of-
Nathan had all of our pick, but mine was like the very last one with I Am Legend, I think. Besides, whatever you did.
The Muppets thing wasn't actually like a
Oh, yeah.
specific movie.
That was a category.
Second, right.
So I mean, it's good. I think we all seem to really like it. I mean, we've eventually found out the first season we kind of like blew our load in because it was like all our favorite movies. Like
Yeah, we all
this is
just in
gonna
the
be the
cup.
best season regardless. Second season we tanked
Was
by
that the theme
doing
season?
themes.
It was.
No.
It was a theme season.
Third was like I think we had no.
Third was
what
good.
third?
We were starting to.
That's when we were like pick whatever. Jurassic Park,
Yeah.
Inception.
Yeah,
We
so
said,
that
let's break
was-
the
that
rules,
was the,
let's
like,
take away
there's
the-
no more rules.
Yeah.
Which I think was good, and in the fourth, I think the wheel was much needed.
Right. It
Because,
kind of
like-
organized the no rules thing because we were for some reason we couldn't think of movies whenever we had all options available.
Mm.
But whenever we started having categories and only one movie to really think about, then it suddenly was a lot more concentrated.
We definitely are picking movies that we never would have watched otherwise. Like, Mason, would you have used a movie pick to talk about Clock Stoppers?
Stoppers, yeah.
Good
Yes.
fucking God. No, you would not. No, you would not.
I gave you an alley-oop to pick
I'm not
Shrek with the
picking
Smash
Shrek,
Mouth thing. and
because
you're
that was
like,
your
No,
category.
yeah, because that's what you wanted.
Yeah, you were just trying to set up to get the movie.
Yeah,
You wanted
we hated it
that
that it was
movie.
so narrow that you tried to game
Asshole.
to, and we were gonna watch anything else. That being
That or Inspector Gadget, and you guys can just pick your freaking poison.
that being said, yeah, I mean the wheel with the categories that did a lot with it. I mean, I think a stand-up movie that maybe doesn't get talked about enough on this one, even though it's semi more recent, was Some Like It Hot. That was the one that I was like, that made I don't know how that
That
movie
is a
would have
good
ever.
point.
Yeah, that movie would have
Yeah.
never touched our discussion.
we all
Yeah,
liked it
that,
pretty
that
well.
was like
Yeah.
such a tasteful
Mhm.
comedy.
Yeah.
Which, of that era, I feel like you're playing with fire.
Yeah. Fire and brimstone with as much shit as that was going on.
But
Yeah.
like people would still, consider it to be funny, which blew my mind more than
Yeah.
anything, and
Right.
it was still today.
Yeah.
Still was pretty funny.
So what we're thinking is next season we're gonna bring a couple more little segments, maybe a couple more little ideas. Nothing-
And probably gonna be axing the gameplay stuff.
Boo! I hate it. I like the game.
We'll
It's a lot
fill
more
in
extra
our-
effort.
Yeah, we'll fill in with something.
With what?
We'll come up with something.
Hey,
With
we don't
what?
know yet.
We had ideas, but I forgot them.
No, we didn't. We have no good ideas since then.
We'll
We
see.
have ideas.
Yeah, we definitely. I've got
What are we gonna do? Board games? That was a fucking travesty at the beginning
whoa,
of this.
whoa.
It's a good idea. It's a bad execution. We would have to record. We'd have to play a board game, record it, throw the footage in after the fact, not while actually reviewing the movie at the same time, and then have us reviewing the movie.
But this is a discussion that we should take off air because they don't need to listen to this.
So if you have any ideas, motherfucker, you guys aren't watching. Go ahead, like it, subscribe. You ain't gonna comment on it, but if you're gonna comment, what's some shit you want to see us do? Do you want to see us act out all of these scenes?
You
'Cause
want
that
us
was
to
an
be
idea.
in tubs where
Oh.
Dylan claws at the top?
do you want more Queen of the Damned style reviews?
Yes.
Jill, you gotta comment on this video when it comes out next year.
Queen of the Damned's video hasn't even gone up yet.
That being
Well, not in our
not our
timeline,
timeline,
but
but in their timeline.
theirs.
Yeah.
Which, to be fair, I haven't watched it, and it's my favorite review.
I go back and watch Waterworlds all the time, which Ride Your Wave should have been there too.
Yeah, why didn't it end up there?
Because
that's so weird. I
somebody
don't
didn't
know why.
watch it or something.
Oh, that's weird. Oh, that's fine. We would have
Played
been.
T.I. for like 4 hours.
Yeah, we would have
Yeah.
been visually upset if we were trying to review that movie anyway. So, but yeah, we got some new ideas. We got to keep it fresh. We got to keep it neat. We got to keep it tight.
You're gonna have to have a new location too.
Oh my God, we got to get a new studio.
Outside.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's winter now. Not like now in your guys' timeline.
It's
Oh, no,
probably
actually,
like
yeah.
summer or
It's
something.
it's
where
winter.
Oh, that's true. Winter goes on for like 6 months. By the time this
Yeah,
drops,
yeah,
it'll
it's
still be
winter.
Like, yeah, it'll be winter
Yeah.
still. It's almost spring now.
So
wait.
perfect.
Yeah, where are we gonna shoot? We're not going to Nashville every year. We're not unless we're
Every
going
year.
every day, week, whatever.
Alright, we will see you guys next season.
We'll see you in
Thank you,
Mason's
Mason.
Garage Studio
Yeah.
next week. Woo!
Don't forget to hit that bell.
Bang!
I try to appreciate that.
Hope it leaves a mark.